started, Tsuko. Just don't start. This is just like how you guys got the U.S. involved in World War II. Okay, don't start. You're gonna kamikaze me into this argument, okay? Tired of it. You guys heard about this Sarah Hops person who claims like she can decode Phil's posts or whatever? She got like 100 some or like a few thousand followers, thousands of followers, I guess. But her whole shtick is, I just decode what Phil posts. And I guess Phil's like confirmed that she's right a bunch of times or some shit. He's making it all up anyways, but now she got a bunch of followers from that because she decodes the Phil's mumbo jumbo, random words he says while driving down the road. Red light, green light. Ego. Lego, my ego.
What you think about when you're born into a fire?
The guy that was defending Derek Johnson in the YouTube comments, I was like, okay, well, explain. You know, it's not true that the president and the commander-in-chief are two different people. They're the same person. They've never been different. They never will be different. You know, that's not a thing. Also, the 21-gun salute, he's wrong about. The three rifle volley, 21-gun salute, that's another thing he's wrong about. He's like, oh, so you're not going to bring up any points? I was like, I just did. He's like, I specifically mentioned laws and the law of war manual. Don't waste my time if you're not going to address the laws and the law of war manual. What he doesn't realize, he doesn't even know what the law of war manual is. It has nothing to do with the president or anybody inside the United States. It's when we're at war with a foreign nation and what we're doing overseas. He's got these people brainwashed. It's crazy. Dude, I saw that Home Depot. We'll talk about it in a minute. I'll read you that guy's comment. Second. Oh, the Boogie stuff, yeah. He's such a piece of shit, and like he's just big, fat, lazy, and doesn't want to get a regular job. He says if he gets a regular job, it'll kill him. But no one wants to watch him or donate to him anymore. That's the reality of doing this type. Like, eventually, I'm gonna have to fucking quit. Like, if I don't make money, I'm gonna have to quit. Let's roll the intro, and we'll talk about a couple things.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
I think Mariah's probably feeling a little bit better. took her some medicine or whatever. She was up and about. I think she cleaned up a little bit today. Made the kids some dinner. Stayed in bed most of the day. She went and checked up on the boss's husband. Our boss, we work for the same person. Our boss's husband has dementia. So the boss lady had to step out today. So they went and checked it out. She went over there and checked him out and make sure he's doing all right, getting along. She got up, got cleaned up, did some stuff around the house, so she's probably feeling a little bit better. Welcome everybody. I'm Will Bird. This is Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. I saw this interesting thing about Home Depot. See, if you've been to a store lately, especially a store that sells power tools, you probably noticed they're locked up. Like the power tools are locked up. And that's not a super new thing. It's probably been that way for like the last 5 or 6 years, maybe even longer than that. That they're behind a padlock in a cage. You know, the displays that they have outside are typically non-functioning. Like they do have some that you can use, but they're like cabled or chained down. But the ones that you actually see there, they're the right weight, they're the right everything, but they've cut wires and shit to make them non-functioning. And then the power tools are like behind a cage. They've also, at a lot of places, they've added cameras in the tool aisle. So like it's not just like they have cameras. Of course, they have cameras everywhere, but they have an actual camera with a monitor facing you, and it says, "Smile, you're being recorded," or some shit like that, right? So that's a thing that they've been doing recently. Then I saw that Home Depot has a pilot store where apparently it has like a lot of theft. And they're working with some manufacturers that tools...
This is my favorite way to fix an imperfection in a piece of wood. This is a large beetle hole that I needed to fix.
Hold on. Let me mute whatever that was. Okay. That they're working with manufacturers that tools have to be active. This sounds like a horrible idea. But certain expensive power tools, if they're not scanned at this Home Depot, at one of their pilot stores, if they're not scanned, they don't work at all. So, like, you might buy it, the person might forget to scan it through this whatever, and then you go and put the battery on it, and it won't even fucking work. I don't know where the cutoff for that is. I know I saw a drill that was like a $400 battery-powered drill from Milwaukee, and it was like that. It had to be scanned for it to work. That sounds like a nightmare to me. But the cool thing that they had, well, I guess it's cool. So they can't block your exit, right? It's a fire hazard. You can't block people from leaving the store. So what they've put up is like this. It's almost like a set of saloon doors, but they're only about this wide. There's like a barrier you go through. It's an emergency exit only. It sets off alarm, but it's the only way to leave the store without going through a register, like walkway or whatever, without going past the register. If you go through that, it sets off an alarm, but the doors are right there. If you continue to go, so the problem we've been seeing lately is people that are just grabbing a ton of stuff, throwing it, like piling a buggy full of like hundreds of the same products or 10, 20, 30 expensive products and just running with a cart. And, you know, store security is not supposed to put hands on you. They're supposed to just call the cops. So if you go through this door with a buggy, one of their buggies, and you go through the emergency exit and then you try to leave the store without going past an aisle, the buggy has brakes on it now, which I guess could fuck up, and you could just be like pushing your buggy and the brakes like down. But the buggies have brakes on them now, and the brakes will set on the wheels. Now, you can still push it through it. It would just be like, you know, push it in mud or something, right? It's not a perfect braking system. It doesn't lock the wheels, but it does add substantial drag to the wheels. And the woman that was demonstrating this, I guess the video was from one of their, they have certain stores set up where they test different things. This is from one of their test stores. The woman that was pushing it looked like she was really struggling to push it, like with the brakes. Like, it was still moving, but the brakes were like fucking locked down, which is pretty interesting to me. Different things to keep people from stealing shit. I see videos all the time on the internet. I usually don't cover them, but somebody just piles like 4 or 5 TVs or like 10 or 20 fucking drills or shit like that. They just pile it up in the buggy and just try walking out. So, I don't know. Kind of wild, I guess. So what else was I going to talk about? There's something else I was going to talk about earlier. Oh, the commenter. So the guy's been commenting on a video I did. I don't even know if the video had anything to do with Derek Johnson. It doesn't matter. So they said, okay. Let me go to this thread. The same guy. And I'll just open all the replies. So I finally said, so Sage hopped on and said, Colbert gives you examples and you're still like, no, those are not examples, and you hurt my feelings, making me look stupid. So the examples I gave him, I said, wrong, it isn't a shtick, it's the truth. Have you not seen the videos where he talks about the Trump speech and then says what he really means, what he really said? You got to read between the lines. These are where he makes some of his largest claims. He just recently claimed the presidential term limits are illegal and not in our Constitution. Do you need me to Google the 22nd Amendment for you? He claims the Supreme Court has placed military law above federal law. Also wrong. The Supreme Court clarified that they were separate court systems and didn't require all the rules that the federal legal system does, i.e. a grand jury, a civilian jury of your peers, etc. He even made the dumbest lie of all about the movie Rain Man from 1988, lying about the character's name. Everything he says is to further his narrative, regardless of the truth. I can't type out responses to his hundreds of thousands of claims here, but all of them about what is secretly taking place, from Trump being CIC secretly behind the scenes, are BS. Show me where the major tenet that the president and commander-in-chief are two different people, or two different positions, or ever have been, or ever can be, exists. It doesn't, but he repeatedly says it does. He says it's written in black and white, and anyone can look it up. So where is it? It doesn't exist, but he keeps saying it. Why? Because it makes his fairy tale make more sense. So then the person says, oh, you did it again. I hope you at least made a Britney Spears face when you typed that out. And I said, I just gave you an example of fake claims he makes that his entire theory hinges on. He says in black and white, anyone can read it, that the Supreme Court said that the commander-in-chief and the president are two separate people and two separate positions. I know this doesn't exist. I will wait for you or Derek to show me. Ad hominem non sequitur, laugh out loud just to get your attention. And then Sage says, oh, he gave you examples and you're pretending like he didn't. And he says, except he didn't. All feels. So it's in my feelings that the Supreme Court and commander-in-chief are the same person. They could never be two different people. And then they says, do you have any, or are you going to waste my time with your feelers? I think the person is just legitimately dumb. And I said, so I responded, I said, these are Derek's claims, not mine. He claims that the president and commander-in-chief are two separate people in position. He claims the Supreme Court and the Constitution have said this. It does not, and they have not. I can't show you what doesn't exist just because you want to give Derek a good solid Hummer. His entire theory hinges on Trump being CIC and not the current president. This is impossible. But he says anyone can look it up in black and white. But you cannot because it doesn't exist. Here's my proof. Then I just hit enter a bunch of times, so it's just like a blank. And I said, see how there is nothing there? Now go show me where Derek says anyone can find it and read it in black and white. I'll wait. I also added to that and said, also, as Sage said, Derek is wrong about the 21 gun salute, three rifle volley. He says Biden received a full honors military funeral, and he doesn't even know what the general honors are or how they are carried out. He has been corrected hundreds of times, but would rather block those people than to acknowledge he is wrong. Laugh out loud. Do you need me to draw you a picture? And then the person, they didn't answer for a little bit. Then the person comes back and says, just because you spend your entire day on the internet doesn't mean everyone does. Ha, 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 ha. Then they said, look, fella, I said executive orders and law from the Law of War Manual. If you can't address what I asked about, you're wasting my time. I'm not interested in whataboutisms. Derek's entire theory hinges on that the Trump can be commander-in-chief, wartime president, and not the actual sitting president. Who gives a fuck about, you don't know what the law of war manual is, obviously. It doesn't even have anything to do with anybody in the U.S. The law of war manual is how we engage OCONUS. It literally says outside the continental United States. When we are on foreign territory and interacting with foreign military, friendly or foe, enemies, foreign court systems, foreign entities such as like NATO, but for like other countries, and how everything plays out. It has nothing to do with anything in the United States. So why you even mention the law of war manual? So what you've got left is Trump's executive orders. If I read one of Trump's executive orders and it says, I'm going to stop human trafficking, basically, right? It's more complex than that, but it says, I'm going to stop human trafficking. And then I take that and say, oh, you see? See, this is exactly what he's saying, guys. The deep state, Hollywood, they're eating babies and drinking adrenochrome. What is there to debunk? He just reads this and then says it means that. But just because he says it doesn't make it so. I don't know what you want from that. So I said, you got me there. Derek reads words and then says what he thinks it really means behind the scenes. And I'm just relying on what it actually says. Do you even know what the law of war manual is? It doesn't apply to the continental United States, the government, or the president. Why would you? I don't know. This guy's got to be mentally handicapped. I'm sure he seems like, oh man, I'm gonna get some blunt force trauma from Derek for this to the back of my throat. But they don't even make. I don't know if they know how dumb they look. They don't even make sense. The law of war manual was not. It's not even technically written for soldiers. It's really written for people that don't have the protection of the U.S. military when they're overseas, like contractors or people who deal with the military, but not because as a soldier, obviously you got a chain of command, you got people above you, you got people below you. It's probably I would say it would be more beneficial to higher command that are actually dealing with structures in a foreign country, but and contractors, but it doesn't have anything to do, nothing to do with anything inside the United States. Nothing. It just tells us how to operate outside the United States when faced with a friendly or an adversary or whatever, their court systems, their structures, the things they have in place, and how we should deal with those. Whether something bad happens or doesn't happen, whether criminal activity happens or doesn't happen, it has to do with that. It has nothing to do with anything here at all. Nothing. It damn sure doesn't say anything about the election of the president. What else do we have? It looks like Boogie's lied about his cancer. I don't want to just straight rip off Destiny's video, but Destiny went over there to hop on and have a little friendly debate today. It's bad. You guys remember who Boogie is? He's the big fat guy that got a $500 donation or whatever to mow his yard, and he had to take like 4 breaks mowing his yard. It's like 10 foot wide. Basically, Boogie used to be kind of like the Mr. They say it in this, like the Mr. Rogers of the internet. Everybody thought he was a really good guy. He played a character named Francis, which was like a flat, sloppy guy, lives with his mom, that yells at people on the internet, but he was a character. He seemed like he was a decent human being. A lot of people kind of fell in love with just this big, lovable guy. Then he kind of went like edgy and weird, and obviously he's got a bunch of trolls because everybody on the internet has trolls. So he's got a bunch of trolls that come after him. Well, he just did a crypto scam. And a lot of people are calling him out about it. But kind of the last couple things he's been called out about, he's like, well, I've got cancer. Turns out it doesn't seem like he has cancer. Because 2 years ago, he says he was diagnosed with cancer, blood cancer. And then just a few days ago, he said they were running So 2 years have passed, and he said he's been treated. He's in treatment for the last 2 years. And just a few days ago, he said they were running some tests to confirm that he even had cancer. So we're gonna grab some of this just because it's interesting. It looks like Destiny and XQC are hanging out together here or something. So check this out. So this is Boogie. This is Tommy from SFTP. Shot from the point. This is Keemstar. You know, it's Keemstar. Wings. This is the Lol Cow podcast. Now, Boogie and XQC are hanging out on, Destiny and XQC are hanging out on Destiny's podcast that he does with his buddy, who is the guy that's like right here beside me. And here we go.
If they don't need that test to confirm cancer, why would you spend extra money on a biopsy they don't need?
I don't know if you heard of this, Destiny. I just got a bit of a windfall.
He did a $10,000 crypto scam. And he actually has like a doctor confirmation of the blood cancer. I'll throw $5,000 towards his medical treatment. I'll make that personal pledge right now.
And Destiny says, if you can show me like your doctor, something verified from your doctor that says you have blood cancer, I'll give you $5,000 towards your treatment. You said you needed money.
You're not seeing my medical records for 20, not for 50. You're not seeing my medical records.
$5,000. In the future then.
So Destiny's not asking for an all-encompassing, like, I want to see every medical record you have. You've already told people you have blood cancer, right? You've already told people you have blood cancer. All he wants to see is that portion that your doctor says, yes, he has blood cancer.
When Boogie says, I have to do XYZ scam to raise money because my medical bills are hurting so much, he can speak publicly about his medical issues to scam his fans to raise money, but he can't take $5,000 to privately confirm a diagnosis that he already publicly said he has.
This is true, and you lied about cancer. This is the biggest scandal on the internet.
What do you know about Boogie's crypto scam?
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all?
Nope.
All right.
All right, so this is how it started. They were just talking about Boogie's crypto scam, and CoffeeZilla made a video about Boogie's crypto scam. So this crypto scam he was in was really weird. He made this coin named Fatty. And what's crazy is, like, Boogie's always, like, years behind a trend. Like, crypto scams were so fucking 5 years ago, right? So Boogie just recently comes out with a crypto scam called Fatty. And he's like, it's a useless coin. It's like a fat person. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to make any money. Don't buy it. But people did. And then he sold out. And then he said he liquidated, but he didn't liquidate. Just a bunch of weird stuff with it. His crypto scam. And he keeps bouncing back and forth from like, oh, it was all a joke. You should know this is all a joke. Oh, well, if people want to throw money at me and I told them not to, why shouldn't I take it? So he can't decide whether it's a joke and he's really not making money, or he's taking money from people who don't need it because fuck them, he has cancer. It's just very, very weird.
We're gonna have a chat about it, all right? So, Boogie, as everyone in chat knows, is an epic lolcow. Okay, he's fallen off. He used to be seen as the Mr. Rogers of YouTube, and now everybody just basically sees him as retarded. But I would argue there was like a little bit of charitability he had from large YouTubers, because I think they thought he was just like dumb, like he's mostly just an idiot. But now he's been exposed for running a pump and dump crypto scam on what's remaining of his audience, and see, his explanation is he didn't know what he was doing. I don't really buy that. I think he was lying. I think he knew the entire time. Mostly because the the service he was using was called pump.fun, which is literally
based.
I mean, it is based. It is based. But he somehow didn't know. But CoffeeZilla did this really good interview with him, and you can basically catch on to Boogie's blatant manipulation tactics. And I think it would be excellent for you to check out on stream, which is why I'm going to DM it to you right now. I'm not doing any spoilers on this, okay? Chat, you're not getting any spoilers. This is all new information. Okay, I'm not going to turkey tom it up. Yeah, let's check this out.
Oh my god, I just got the best idea ever. Holy shit.
K-Sex?
You should give, since I'm a boring reading streamer now.
Here's what, by the way, back to the Law of War manual. Here's what the Department of Defense says about. Today, the Department of Defense released an important update to its Law of War manual. The manual provides authoritative legal guidance for DoD personnel in implementing the Law of War and executing military operations. It reflects America's long and deep tradition of respect for the rule of law and the Law of War. This is the third update to the manual since it was first issued in June 2015. The updated manual substantially enhances the discussion of what law of war requires when determining whether a person or object is a lawful target in planning and conducting attacks. It describes the legal duty to presume that persons or objects are protected from being targeted for attack unless the available information indicates that they are military objectives. So this would have to do with like operating in foreign countries, what foreign countries think, what, some type of convention or pact or something protects. Do we overstep that? Do we not? Do we follow by it? Do we abide by it? The manual also includes a new section discussing the obligation to take feasible precautions to verify that potential targets are military objectives, including providing examples of common precautionary measures. The update affirms that the law of war does not prevent commanders and other personnel from making decisions and acting at the speed of relevance, including high-intensity conflicts based on their good faith assessments of the information available at the time. Again, this is for a lot of people. This wouldn't be for like me on the ground. Someone shoots at me, I shoot back, right? This isn't like issue day, like every soldier, and you got to know it by heart. This is some guy sitting with an analyst and a contractor and fucking NSA intelligence saying, okay, well, we think bad guys here, and there's also a coffee shop there, there's this there, and if we get involved in this country, well, their civil rights group is probably going to come out, and this country is probably going to say something this, and we don't want to have civilian casualties. How can we confirm that this person's actually there? What's the acceptable losses that we could have with, you know, if we do a drone strike and shit? It doesn't have anything to do with boots on the ground soldiers, and it doesn't have anything to do with a fucking presidential election or anything going on in the United States. So it doesn't reflect, high intensity conflicts based on good faith. This is when someone shoots at me, I shoot back. Law of War manual has nothing to do with that. As Secretary Austin has said, there's still rules in war. Secretary Austin has rightly insisted that we make every effort to protect civilians, mitigate civilian harm during armed conflict, protect civilians. Protecting the civilians is vital to success for military operations and keeping Americans safe. And doing so is both a moral necessity and strategic imperative, said Carolyn Crass, Department of Defense General Counsel. This update, again, General Counsel, she's a lawyer for the Department of Defense. And this also has to do with like tribunals and shit and Interpol and shit like that, right? This updated version of the Department's Law of War manual provides greater clarity for the requirements of the law of war that are critical for protecting civilians and civilian objects during military operations. The department will continue to update the manual to provide DoD personnel with the best possible resources for understanding and complying with the law of war. The updated manual is publicly available at defense.gov. So let's say that people tell me to go attack this home in fucking Iraq, and that so and so's there, we expect hostility, they're going to shoot us, blah blah blah, and we find out that all the intelligence was wrong, that someone just lied because they just didn't like this guy, and they weren't even up to anything bad, right? They weren't doing anything illegal, blah blah blah. They were just defending their home. That's not going to fall back on me. I can only work with the intelligence I've got. I can only carry out the orders that I've got. It's going to fall back on some analyst here and somebody who approved it here and some general there, and that's who this is for, to keep them out of trouble when they plan missions. But we'll go back to Boogie now.
You should do like a 45-minute or like a 30-minute drama segment where you can call into anything else. We'll put you up on the TV, and then you can just like say like, here's some drama going on, and then give us your take on it, and then we'll link your shit and all that, and we'll go over it on. That'd be a
That is a genius idea.
Wow,
I should do that.
But we can do it here now. No, man. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe we'll look at this there. Okay, wait. Confronting Boogie 2988 on crypto scam. Oh, I opened this.
So this is CoffeeZilla's video. He confronts Boogie. We could go watch the whole thing, but I think they'll give us a synopsis of this. Also, I found out today that a potentially $1 million idea I had years ago, someone else is doing it. So I don't know if you guys, I'll give you this the quick rundown of it. When people restore cars or build cars or like classic cars or even pickup trucks or whatever, one of the most common things they do is like they'll put like a small block Chevy in it, like a 350, or they'll put a big block Chevy or small block Ford or something from Mopar, right? And the reason they do this is like, even if it didn't come with a 350 in it, all small block Chevy, basically roughly the same size. They have the same motor mounts. There's a lot of parts for them. People know them. They look good. They work good, whatever. The big thing is like knowing it'll fit, knowing what transmissions to go with, knowing how to make it run, what you need to make it run. So me and a buddy of mine were talking about probably 10 years ago. It's been a long time ago, maybe even longer than that. 10 years ago, we were talking about electric vehicles and like how they're pushing for electric vehicles. And we were sitting around talking that if you could put electric motor, batteries, cables, current, everything in a package that literally was inside a small block Chevy box, right? You just make a box that looks like a Chevy 350 or big block Chevy or small block Ford or Mopar, big block and small block, and made it look cool, right? Yeah, you made it look like it kind of looked like an engine, like a traditional engine. Like it had like the headers that looked cool and the top and the heads and stuff. But that was just a box that held all the electrical stuff, and everything was in that electrical shit. Everything was tied in there, and made it to where it had bolt patterns to where you could put the regular transmissions to it, or even if it come with its own transmission. A lot of people buy engine and motor transmission combos. Then you could just drop it into a car. You could literally just drop it into a car, same motor mounts, same accessory drive, same everything, right? And you could just do the conversion, and with the power you get, like the instant torque and the power ratio and the stuff that you can get out of performance electric motors, you could probably make a lot of money years down the road when people start switching, which is now. So I found this guy that took this idea. His name is, let's see if we can find his YouTube channel. Oh, God. This guy that owns Webb Motorsports has taken this idea, and I think it's Webb. Oh, I might have to look. Webb Motor Works. Maybe that's it. He has taken this idea, done it amazingly well in a cool package, and he thinks that so he's got thousands of people that have paid a deposit, okay? They've paid a deposit, and they're on waiting lists for this motor. Guess how much this electric conversion motor is going to be? Thousands of people have paid a deposit, and they're on a waiting list. They estimate that the out-the-door package will be like $50K. $50,000. I don't know if you weren't listening, but the batteries are in it. The motor, batteries, controller, everything's in it. You hook up the throttle wire, you hook up your accessories, you're good to go. But they are really cool motors. Check this out. Let's see. I think he just did a small block Chevy video the other day. I did not find this channel until today, but he's been working on it for years too. But it is a really good idea. So he basically has this generic block that is the lower portion, and then he puts on different intake heads, headers, and looks to make it a Chevy, a Ford, a big block, a small block, whatever. But he has a very generic, let's see. And it's cool. I mean, he's been featured at the SEMA show. There's a lot of people that are very, very into that build like show cars that want this. If you could build a boat that drives exactly like a car, you'd be a millionaire. You can't build a boat that drives like a car. The surfaces are different. One is water, and one is the road. You can't, I mean, you're just going to float on water, right? You're going to continue moving on water. Silent, this truck.
Webb Motorworks. I'm the original inventor of the electric.
The only thing they're not great at is their social media presence. Like, obviously, you can barely hear him. Like, this isn't the greatest video, but
Chevy, and that's what
so
I
cool.
got in my grandfather's 1936 Hayes. I've owned this truck for 47 years. So as you can
look at that. See that? That looks just like a collector car, like a custom-built motor. That everything is in that. So the air filter's fake. The radiator's actually real. You have to hook up coolant hoses and shit like that. You have to do your power steering or electric. You have to do your AC, shit like that. But it is water cooled. It's got a water pump in it. Air filter's fake. The heads are fake. The headers are fake. Everything. This is just a case that holds the motor, the controller, the charge controller. The only thing you have to put on is like a throttle, right? You have to run a throttle cable, which is just wires to a fucking pedal. The charging port, you hook up your cooling and your accessory drive. So this is basically like an electric crate motor,
You can see it looks like an original small block Chevy. It's got 2 controllers, which are the computers in the block. It's dual electric motors, water cooled, and it's running through my 4-speed transmission.
And it's running through they have the same bolt pattern for a regular transmission. So it's already reduced in there some. You can see the batteries hooked up here, fake heads. But it runs through like a regular, you can run it through a regular transmission, or you can sell a transmission combo. And they're getting like, through the small block Chevy one, I think it was like 950 some foot-pounds of torque. It was like 400 some horsepower, 950 some foot-pounds of torque from as soon as you hit the pedal, right? It's instant because it's electric, basically.
This is my workshop on my farm here. Got a bunch of different prototypes in here. On the walls, there's a lot of patterns that I've made out of wood and Bondo, and then I cast those for different motor configurations. This is my 56 MGA. I've owned that for 47 years.
There's a reason boats don't have gas pedals, because in a boat, a lot of times you just set the throttle, right? Not to mention you can't make a gas pedal go backwards.
One of my patents. This is a small block Chevy that looks like a flathead V16. Now these two.
So these are also motors. These are different designs, different motors.
We took these to SEMA for displays. This one here, this is a flathead V12. So that's what we put in this 32 Ford. And it had
a flathead V12. So 6 on this side, 6 on that side.
That was 300 horse.
Thing will scoop.
This is my.
So this is kind of like his Omni block. So like I said, this is the same basically, in which he's designed it well, right? So the core part of it is the same no matter if you order small block Ford, small block Chevy, big block Ford, big block Chevy, anything Mopar, it's all the same. The heads, the accessories, the stuff that snap on the outside of it make it look like these classic engines, but the core part's the same. So they're not manufacturing 6 different things. They're actually manufacturing one thing and putting different panels on it to make it look different.
My friend Brian's 32 Ford. I helped him build 3 of his electric.
They got to get a better social media person, but because I swear I think this is going to blow up.
Hot rods, and he really helped me out by
especially like these custom hot rod shops that build cars to take them to SEMA, and take them to shows or build them for clients or whatever. Like they used to have like Boyd's and shit like that. Like they're going to eat this shit up.
them all to SEMA and showcasing my motors with me.
And this is a small block Chevy V12. More room for batteries having a V12. And of course, GM did make a V12 from 60 to 65. And this one in the Bel Air.
This is Brian's 57 Bel Air convertible lowrider, the first electric 57 lowrider in the world.
Over here, there's a little Ford.
He's going to make millions off this. Thousands of people already paid deposits for a $50,000 motor.
And this here, this was the second prototype, the Cyber Beast. So this actually is a V8 small block Chevy, similar to what we have in the Haze. This one here, you can see it.
So weird here in almost silent power.
Back, whereas in the other 2 cars, we used a 4-speed. This one here, you can see it has the motor and the trans at the.
Batteries and all the components are in the block. Batteries and components are in the block. But this one comes with a transmission because that transmission looking thing is actually part of the motor.
Back, whereas in the other 2 cars we used a 4-speed transmission.
There it is, set on other classic cars, especially depending on what state you live in. If they move to where like you gotta, even antique automobiles have to pass emissions, there it is.
My client Brian wanted more horsepower on the Z28, so we used a larger controller. And
to beat it all, yes, he just said Z28. Z28. He's a Canadian. He's from Canada. This could have been an American idea, and I could have been an American millionaire. And we let some guy from Canada build our muscle cars electric now.
And higher voltage to give him 500.
It's a Z28, in case you're wondering.
Horsepower on this baby.
Look how cool that looks. I mean, it obviously don't have a filter over the intake right now, or a fake carb or something. But still, I mean, I think that looks cool as shit. Plus, you could hide a lot more shit and make the engine bay look a lot cleaner when you don't have an actual internal combustion engine there. I think, like, from internal combustion engines, isn't it like 70%? It like goes to heat and friction and waste. Only 30% of the power produced is actually used.
And of course, for my Mopar buddies,
No, that's Edison Motors that builds the truck.
I had to do a Hemi. Man, these are the coolest looking engines. I mean, I like flat
That one looks like it's got a supercharger on it.
heads, but boy, these things look hot.
That's pretty cool.
And of course, I've always loved the iconic flathead V8, built from 1932 to 53.
There's even a flathead.
It was a very proud moment when Emily and Kelsey and myself won the 3 top 10 media awards at SEMA.
God, they won the 3 top 10 media awards at SEMA. Yeah, they're gonna fucking blow up, dude. He's gonna be making them so goddamn fast.
Since something in my chat was like, this is boring, don't watch it.
It's not boring. That chatter was retarded. Chatter wants to see you read. CoffeeZilla got him in the act.
All right.
Basically, the deal is Boogie was he adopted this kind of Andrew Tate.
Back to Boogie. Boogie was like nobody had an issue with him. He's like a Mr. Rogers guy. Then he kind of went down this dark path, kind of weird. He's also, a lot of people judge him because he's always complaining about nobody loves him. He can't find love, blah, blah, blah. So he found like this really young girl, like not illegal young, but just like, you know, Boogie's up there and he's dating like a 20-year-old girl. A lot of people judge him for that. He kind of got this edgier side to him. A lot of people didn't like that. So he's losing his following. The only people that still watch him are trolls. And he went on one of these, like, where they take your income and try to figure out what you can afford or whatever. He's losing his house. He's losing his lifestyle. He says he can't have a job because it'll kill him. He can't do anything but YouTube, but nobody wants to watch him. Nobody wants to donate. When he does start streaming and stuff, he won't do it consistently because he's fucking lazy. He spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on hookers and sugar babies and shit like that. People don't feel sorry for him, but he wants you to feel sorry for him. Like, he's one of those guys. I do have no sympathy for Boogie. Basically, Keemstar had to come and buy Boogie's house and just say, you can live there as long as you want. We paid off the note. So he isn't homeless right now.
Where he was, he's a fat ass with his shirt off. He's wearing glasses. He's got his girlfriend next to him on stream in her underwear, and he's like, "I'm gonna help you and cheek thing, right? This crypto thing." And for that reason, I don't really feel bad for anybody who got quote unquote scammed by him because he was literally pitching it as like it is a pump and dump.
Okay.
The criticism I think comes down to the fact that Boogie didn't even know himself what he was promoting. He's a retarded person, and he also admits in this interview to being a fan of CoffeeZilla, so he knew exactly what he was doing. Like, he watches all this shit happen, but for some miraculous reason, he's like, I didn't know what pump and dump was. Didn't know what he was doing. It's kind of the classic Boogie playing the victim when he's caught. But this interview I think will be an excellent watch, and you'll love it. You'll catch on his manipulation. It's like Boogie's like a BPD girl when you catch her, okay?
And Boogie 298 on a crypto pump and dump he did, where he got paid $10,000 to promote a coin, and he said that he thought that just because he said, hey, don't buy this unless you're rich, then nobody was going to put their money in. A few hours later, $3 million worth of trading volume had been done. And I tried to tell him and explain to him that that's how these deals work. Insiders pay you, the celebrity, to go ahead and promote something, pay $10,000, and then people end up buying it. It doesn't matter what you say. The whole point is they're renting your likeness, renting your image in order to do that. He then told me, well, basically he's paying for cancer, so he can't pay that money back. It's all spent, money's gone. And I tried to get to the bottom of why he did it. Why
he's paying for cancer. He can't give it back. So basically, he did this crypto. So Boogie doesn't have the ability to make a crypto coin. Someone else did it, but they got Boogie to promote it as the fatty coin. And Boogie's like, well, I told people not to buy it, but millions of dollars went through the coin. Boogie made his money, and he's like, oh, I can't pay people back now because I got cancer.
I think that he didn't actually care.
Wait, does Boogie have cancer?
Does he have what?
Does Boogie have cancer?
Yeah, he says he has blood cancer, yeah. A lot of people don't believe it, but he claims to have blood cancer, I think.
Okay.
Whether it was a scam or not, because he actually came to me ahead of time. It was a really weird story where he came to my DMs before he fully launched the coin. He had just done an announcement tweet saying, hey, at Pumped Up.
I'm slowing it down some because Destiny's got it sped up and I've got it sped up. It's making it too fast.
Fun, which is the platform he was launching on. And then he said to me, hey, I got a question for you, something like that. And I looked at his Twitter profile and I said, don't do what I think you're about to do. And he said, oh, it's too late. Like, I already spent the money, hospital bills and stuff. So I thought it was really weird. Like, why would you come to the guy who busts scams if you thought it was all on the up and up? Because that's what he tries to say is, no, if I'd only known, if I'd only seen ahead of time what this was, I wouldn't have done it. Very strange. strange story, though. I want you to hear.
Well, it's obvious why he went to him. Is because he was basically trying to say, like, well, I went to CoffeeZilla first, and we chatted about it, so I figured everything would be good. It's like he's like covering his tracks, or basically, right? Or covering his ass, really, right? But
from Boogie 298 himself, though, about this, decide what you think. In general, I think it's fine to say people should not be investing in memes. I just think it's also obvious that marketers wouldn't pay.
He did profile as like a meme coin. If you don't know what a meme coin is, it's like something you invest in just because it's funny.
People, if people didn't fall for this stuff, ultimately they are scamming your fans. They get in on the coin early, they sell as your fans pile in. I hope we can continue to expose celebrities who do this, such as Boogie, desperate or not.
So this is the way it would work. Just like traditional trades, when people start trading something, the value goes up. So when we create a coin, let's say me and Legend are creating the Legend coin, and let's say there's going to be 10 million coins. I give myself $1 million for creating it, and I give Legend $1 million for sharing it, right? For putting it on her YouTube channel and telling people to buy it. I have $1 million. She has $1 million. So there's $8 million left. Now, we can either pay like stupid low amounts for that or nothing, right? We just give it to ourselves. Now, when people start coming in and the coin starts trading at like $1 and then more people are buying it and it goes up to $1.50 and then $5 and $6, it goes up to $6 and we sell, we're going to crash the market because we're selling millions of coins, right? But we're both going to make $6 million off the idiots that just fucking were buying it, right? We sell out while they're coming in, and the pump is when you're saying, it's going to the moon, it's so good, everybody's got to be there, you're going to make tons of money, or even don't buy it. You know, it's a silly meme, blah, 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 but they still buy it. But that's the pump, and the dump is when we sell everything, and that breaks the market. So it might have been at $6 a coin, and then when me and Legend sell all of ours, it might go down to fucking 3 cents a coin, and you bought in at $2. You know, we're destroying the market to get our money out of it as quickly as possible.
It's not okay. There are other ways to make money, and yeah, here's the call we have. Boogie, it looks like you launched a crypto token that is a scam, a pump and dump. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, I don't think it's a pump and dump. It is a meme coin.
It's literally from a thing called Pump.fun. What are you talking about?
I never knew who Pump.fun was until today.
Well, that's what you tweeted. That's what you tweeted. You said, oh, we're going to break.
Like, I learned about it today, so I also tweeted about it today. Try to find a time I tweeted about it before today. You won't, because it's not about it. I didn't know who this company is, or these people I'm working with, other than they referred to me by Afroman's manager.
Right, but you said before you posted the pump and dump, you said we're going to crush the internet, Pump.fun. You didn't realize at that point you're doing a pump and dump, that you're getting paid by insiders to do this?
Pump.fun. The name of the website is pump.fun. Who's buying your fans that you talk into?
Well, not really, because again, if you watch the video that I launched this with, the entire video, the entire bit, the entire joke is I lost all of my money in crypto.
But I'm here to tell you the truth and the hacks to help you break free from the matrix so you can be a brokey like me.
So his whole commercial is basically like he's pretending to be like Andrew Tate. You guys remember Andrew Tate, right? He's got a Slim Jim instead of a cigar. He's got his glasses on, no shirt. He's got his girlfriend running around in her panties.
No happiness comes from a goldfish.
This is kind of irrelevant. Like, it's shitty what he did. But now, even over the top, the part we want to get to is he's lying about cancer.
From the same one a couple of nights a month and the occasional meme coin. Fatty for life.
Here's my shitcoin. If you want to be broke too, buy my shitcoin. That's what I say in my tweets.
What's the joke about you getting paid to do this, though, and asking people to invest in this coin? I mean, what's the joke exactly? You know people are...
So here's the problem. If it was just a joke that no one was going to buy it, no one was going to lose money, no one was going to, because he's telling people don't buy it, then why would a company pay him thousands of dollars to promote it? If I come to you and I say, I want you to promote something really sketchy, but don't worry, nobody will buy it. Nobody will ever buy it. But I want you to promote it, and I'm going to pay you $10,000 to promote it. Wouldn't you say, well, if no one's going to buy it, and I'm going to tell them it's sketchy, and we know that nobody's going to buy it, where's the $10,000? You're just doing this for a joke? You just want to burn $10,000? Of course not. They knew people would buy it, or else Boogie couldn't have a payday.
You're going to invest. That's why you're getting paid. You know that.
I thought people would buy one coin to come onto the server and hang out. That's what I thought. That's my understanding, and that was the point. You know, when they were pitching this to me, they're like, don't be like Logan Paul, don't be these other people. We want you active in the community. We want you to talk. We want you to be there. This is your community. Be part of it. And so it seems very easy for me to do this with another company to collect.
You're asking people to invest in a financial product, not just a community, right? You understand that. This is not like, hey, pay $1 and you get access to my community. People think that they're going to make money. That is why there's
I just want to give you a quick insight. We're going to take a quick manipulator break, okay? I don't know if I can expand upon these rules like explicitly, but there is a thing that manipulators do where they will claim that they're not doing a particular thing, but then in the course of arguing about whether they're doing that thing, at some point in the argument, they'll begin to justify the thing that they said before that they weren't doing. It's a little slick, it's probably unintentional, but it's incredibly mindful.
That's true. So, like, You have an argument with somebody and they're like, no, that's not what I'm doing. No, that's not what I'm doing. No, that's what I'm doing. But even if somebody was doing this, that would be okay. There's nothing wrong with doing this or doing that or doing this. I'm not doing it. But if somebody was doing it, they go ahead and lay that groundwork in case they get busted.
Let's say that you come home and somebody, you find that your dog is acting a lot differently than you expect it to, and you ask a friend to babysit the dog. So you go up to the friend and you're like, yo, what's going on with my dog? Like, what do you mean? Like, were you pissed off at my dog? Did you attack my dog? Like, why is he so like scared? Why is he in the corner? I'm like, no, I would never do that. Me and your dog are all fine. We're great. Everything's great. Everything's fine. Really? And then you start pushing, and then you're like, listen, I never knew your dog. Okay, listen, your dog barks like all day. Okay, like holy shit, like he barks all the time. He shits all over the place. He pisses everywhere. Like he eats his dog. Something that is happening here, and I don't think people realize, well, I don't think the person doing it realizes what they're doing because they wouldn't do it, and the person arguing with them often doesn't realize it. What's happening is when you say, when they start giving justifications for a behavior that they initially said they didn't do, they did do that behavior, and now in their mind they've moved on to trying to justify and defend themselves from it because they've forgotten that they lied about not doing it at all. It's super manipulative, and it's really mindfucky because then the other person will start arguing the justifications, not realizing, hold on, wait. So if you're saying my dog did all this, okay, fine, maybe he did, but so then you did take my dog, right? You attacked him, right? Like you're justifying now why you attacked him. You understand what you're doing, right? People don't catch this. What Boogie is doing here, Boogie is deploying this. Initially, the coin is just a joke. It's just a joke. I didn't think it was actually doing it. It's a joke meme coin, right? But then it's like, what are we making justifications for now? They said that I was going to participate in the community. I'm not going to be like the Pauls. I'm actually going to go my community and participate. I just thought people like buy one so they gain access to the Discord, right? Well, hold on, wait. First you said it was a joke, but now you're justifying why the coin was a good buy. So was it not a joke? Did you actually intend to have this be a product, right? Notice that right now Boogie is defending the very proposition that he denied, which is that this is a coin that's meant to be purchased by people as a serious product in the beginning of the conversation. Just as a quick manipulator thing to point out, but okay.
You're asking people to invest in a financial product, not just a community, right? You understand that. This is not like pay above and you get access to my community. People think that they're going to make money. That is why there's $3 million of trading volume on this little shitcoin that you just promoted.
Well, I told them they won't make money.
$3 million of trading volume.
I literally told you go buy this coin.
You can't think.
In the tweets and in the video, I said don't buy this coin. You go broke if you want to like me buy this coin.
There's literally no way you believe.
All right, you guys can go watch CoffeeZilla if you want to see more of that. CoffeeZilla's video if you want to see more of that. I want to get to the cancer debate.
I thought there was going to be some trading. I thought people would buy enough coins to join the community and come fuck around and have fun. I thought they might spend a little bit of money like they do on Cameo or Patreon or OnlyFans to have some personal interaction. That's what I was expecting. I was expecting anybody to think they're going to make money from this, especially because I specifically told them you will not make money from this.
Don't you think it's kind of gross? An investment is never a comedy. Like,
Hey, dog, you wanted to get paid, you got paid. Like, that's it. Just say that much. Like, all this weird moralizing is cringe.
As a joke, as a comedy bit. I thought they would make people laugh.
An investment is never a comedy. Like, people are trying to tie comedy to investments. It's hilarious.
Make investment. I didn't expect anybody to make a large investment. Why would they? I told them not to.
Now it's a large investment. I didn't expect anybody to buy it. Now I don't expect anybody to make a large investment.
Okay. Let me ask you this. When were you paid the $5,000?
Truckerfilato918 just subscribed.
Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it.
I don't know what good that does me. And 2% of nothing I thought was nothing anyway, so who cares?
Now we're going to jump past the CoffeeZilla video.
Yeah.
Go watch the CoffeeZilla video if you're interested in it. It's a really good video. Nothing wrong with it. I just don't. We got to get. I'm not watching the whole stream, just ripping it off.
Of course, yeah. And
okay, thanks, Boogie. I appreciate it. I hope you get better. I hope you get better with your sickness. And
yeah, it's cancer, man. People don't generally get better.
Why would you say that? If you...
Wait a second. Don't people get better from cancer all the fucking time? It's cancer, buddy. People don't generally get better. That makes me sound like you are faking it, right? I'm gonna die with this. Stop being mean to me.
If you had cancer, it's cancer. You don't get better from it. That's so absolutely not f***ing true. Depends on the type of cancer, depends on the condition of the patient, depends on the healthcare available to you, depends on, no, hold on, third one is stupid. Depends on the type of cancer, depends on the status of the patient, and it depends on how far the cancer's progressed. And then also other things like finances and medical, whatever. But those three are the big ones. Why would you just say it's cancer? There's no hope. That's such a stupid f***ing thing to say. No shot. He's lying. He's absolutely lying. He's absolutely lying about it.
All right, well, I'm glad you got a kick out of that. I feel a little like, I don't know, this is my internalized homophobia.
That's such a shitty thing to...
I think this is Turkey Tom that's talking to Destiny, by the way.
I do. What an unbelievable
Another commentary YouTuber.
What an actual fucking piece of shit. Why the f*** would he say that at the end? That's such a disgusting thing to say. It's cancer. You always die. That's not true. There are so many different types of cancer. With certain screening, depending on what you're at risk for. So if you're a man of a certain age, they recommend things like colonoscopies or prostate exams or whatever. If you're a woman of a certain age with a certain medical background or a history of cancer, they might recommend like mammogram cancer or whatever. Why would he say that? That's such a stupid fucking horrible thing to say. I wouldn't even care so much that he says that. But the fact that he'll say that and then say he has cancer and he's collecting money for the treatment at the same time. Also, so is he doing chemotherapy? You said he's paying $1,800 a month or $1,100 a month. I guess it changes all the time. What is he paying for cancer treatments? Is he getting medication every month or every week, or is he doing radiation treatment? What has he said about this? I don't. Have you looked into that at all? Do you know?
I don't know all the details of his cancer treatment, to be honest with you.
Boogie, I wouldn't
be surprised if he's lying, but
2988 cancer. Wait, hold on. Okay, somebody linked something. Okay. Hey, so I debated sharing this, but I got my official.
Hey, so I debated not sharing this, but I got my official diagnosis today, so why not? I do, in fact, have a type of blood cancer called polycythemia vera. Polycythemia vera. It's extremely slow moving. and many people live with it for decades. No big deal. Then why did you just say it's cancer? People don't get better.
This is why I don't trust people like Turkey Tom, okay? Because they miss out on the value of some streamers. Boogie is indeed at times quite the comedian. Boogie, what a fucking hilarious joke. Boogie joking that he would actually withhold some piece of information that makes him look like a victim. That's one of the funniest fucking jokes I've heard of the year. We've got 5 months left of the year. I don't think I'll hear anything funnier than this. Somebody enters in a contender for
that was in 2022, by the way.
Hilarious fucking joke of all time. Okay, sorry. Hey, so I debated not sharing this, but I got my official diagnosis today, so why not? I do in fact have a type of blood cancer called polycythemia vera. It's extremely slow moving, and many people live with it for decades. No big deal. I guess if you're going to get cancer, this is the one to get. It might lead to stroke or heart attack, but that's easily managed. It doesn't eventually lead to leukemia, but we can stay on top of that, or it could eventually. Okay, and at the end of the day, I don't think you should be that worried about it, and I'm not going to be that worried about it. Why the fuck are you even publishing this? Okay, so if he indeed has this, he has like a form of cancer that takes decades to progress, so there's never any public viewing of like a symptom of cancer or chemotherapy. There's no treatment involved, so you never have to talk.
Basically, this is a form of cancer in which your bone marrow makes too many red blood cells. The majority of cases are caused by mutations in the JAK2 gene, most commonly resulting in single amino acid change in its protein product from valine to phenylalanine. Phenylalanine at position 617. Sorry. Struggle with that one.
Talk about a treatment. We're paying for it, I guess, right? You didn't mention anything. Sorry. But then, hold on. But assuming all of this is true,
I heard beet juice cures cancer, so.
All of this is true. Assuming everything here is true, and he does have this, and everything he said about it is true, why the fuck did he say at the end of the CoffeeZilla video, you know it's cancer, you die from it, there's nothing you can do? Why the fuck would he say that? Sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry.
I wonder if Sneeko getting unbanned. I guess I'm very shocked.
There's the video. I have a rare form of cancer.
You haven't been on Twitch at all?
My appeal got rejected like a week after Sneeko's got approved, so they just super don't like me there.
It seems like it's so like
who's
it's
the
like
COD
unethical.
streamer?
Sorry?
Who's the one COD streamer?
The one COD streamer. Oh, Nick Merckx?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He got banned for 1 week for calling him trolls.
Yeah, and you're permabanned to this day.
Pretty wacky.
It must just be with him. He just brings them in too much money for them to ban him permanently.
I guess. Right?
Not that I think he should be banned permanently, but like just ban Destiny Twitch, okay?
True.
Yeah. Did you see the new Willie Mack show about the slasher and all that stuff? Of what Doc had to do? And then
about this, but I hope it brings you.
Here we go.
I love it. Everybody.
I say though, every day that I wake up is a good day. It's the one day that I don't wake up that sucks. So I've been debating
Mariah checks my prostate once a week, whether I need it or not.
for a while to talk to you guys about this, but I hope it brings you guys a little bit of clarity about some of the videos I've made in the last month or so. Because
I'm debating talking to you guys about this. Wait, what did he say in that tweet? November 15th, 2022. This video was posted November 15th, 2022. In the tweet, he says, I got my official diagnosis today. Then how could he have been making videos because of this thing or being affected by this thing in the last couple months? But okay. Been over a year, can't believe it. Thanks.
So the same day he claims he got his diagnosis, he says he's been struggling with whether to talk to him or not for months. But he just got diagnosed today. So how could you struggle for months?
Scott's original.
I often say, though, every day that I wake up is a good day. It's the one day that I don't wake up that sucks. So I've been debating for a while to talk to you guys about this, but I hope it brings you guys a little bit of clarity about some of the videos I've made in the last month or so. Because, well, you remember about 3 weeks back I said that I likely could potentially have a form of cancer? Turns out I got a rare blood cancer called polycythemia.
Does he? Okay, so when he didn't get the pronunciation from his doctor. Okay, but also too, is he going to show like a diagnosis, like a receipt or a letter or something from a hospital, or?
Turns out I got a rare blood cancer called polycythemia vera, which basically makes your body produce too many red blood cells. And when we started taking that testosterone supplement 7 or 8 years ago, however long it's been, we knew that this was a possibility. You never think you're going to be the guy who gets that side effect.
So he took a testosterone supplement, and he thinks that's what could have triggered it. It caused it.
All right. You never think it's going to be you, but sometimes it is. It has to be somebody. But the good news is, I mean, this is a disease that takes a
life about 20 years of life. He has a better chance of having a Big Mac heart attack than he does. Jesus Christ.
Really long time to get you. Statistically speaking, I'll die of a blood clot or a heart attack or a stroke due to one of those blood clots. And most people, after getting diagnosed, live another 20 years.
It's cancer. People don't get
if you're
better.
going to get a cancer, this is the one to get. You know me and my dark sense of humor. When my doctor told me all of this, I said, if I die of cancer, doc, instead of my morbid obesity, which I've been working so hard on for the last 30 years, I'm going to be pissed. And but the good news is, it might just give me a stroke or heart attack, which is how I was going out anyway. The scary thing about it is that it eventually can lead to some health conditions, some of which I already have: arthritis, stomach ulcers, leukemia. I could definitely develop into leukemia, but the good news is that's pretty rare, so I don't think that's going to happen. And there's no tons of different ways to treat it. I mean, they can draw your blood, like when they donate blood, or like taking a daily aspirin is going to help. Getting something to help reduce the itching, which has been really rough for me over the few years. Drugs that reduce the blood cell count, and things along that lines. It's pretty basic, easy stuff, especially at the stage I'm at. All they really want me to do is get a sleep study done, a colonoscopy done, and start taking an aspirin. So that's pretty cool.
Sleep study, colonoscopy, start taking an asprin.
The biggest problem is the best thing for me to do in this situation is to lose some weight as much as I can. Me and my eating disorder, well, I haven't been able to make that work so far. And I don't know if I have what it takes to even at the threat of death, to overcome this eating disorder, but by God. It's do or die now. Pun unintended. I always wondered if...
This was 2 years ago, by the way.
I knew that the food was killing me.
I think it's unreasonable to...
He's only gotten bigger.
Expect a person to provide written evidence in a video like this.
He basically can't move now at this point. We saw him mow his yard, right?
Doesn't mean it's real or not, just not really a point in either direction. I feel like if you are collecting money to further a particular thing, you probably owe some evidence that the money is going towards that.
Yeah, he's a piece
and my
of
understanding is a lot of Boogie's
stuff is happening at once right now.
Let's go to what happened today.
I think that's on this video. I don't want to monetize this in any way. I felt you guys deserved it up.
This triggers at me. So I heard Penguin Zero said, sort of GoFundMe if I need help with medical stuff. Wait, did this just get posted?
So I heard Penguin Zero said to start a GoFundMe if I need help with medical stuff. I've heard that a lot. What do you think? Should I consider it?
Posted? Like 40 minutes ago? You think his entire diagnosis isn't real or what? It sounds like it could be real, but it's not. I'm sorry. The reason why I said I don't know how they define cancer is because cancer, people are saying mutation in cells that causes unchecked cell division or whatever. But based on how he described this, he described it in a way that didn't sound like cancer. But if this is always cancer, then my understanding of cancer is clearly wrong, because it sounds like polycythemia could just be definitionally an overproduction of red blood cells. But it sounds like I'm going so intuitively. I don't know any of this. That's what we're looking at. It sounds like you can induce polycythemia by introducing something in the body that causes an overproduction of red blood cells, not due to a genetic mutation or defect or a cancer, but just due to the introduction of some exogenous thing like testosterone. That's what he mentioned. But if that's the case, then I don't know if would you say that he has cancer? I don't know. But that's what I'm listening for. I want to read now because I am motivated to not like him. Hold on. And secondary,
motivated to not like him.
Or contributed to by exogenous hormones. That's not cancer. That's just the body's being created by that TRT could cause this. But if TRT is causing it, your body is increasing the production of red blood cells in response to conditions being created by or contributed to by exogenous hormones. That's not cancer.
Sure, that sounds like a side effect, a reaction. Unless it actually, well, it depends. If the TRT mutates a cell, mutates a cell that causes this production, or mutates part of the body that causes this production, and you can't take it back, maybe that is cancer. The same way that you get in front of radiation causes cancer. But if it's like I introduced this and now I can stop taking it and I'll stop producing extra red blood cells, then obviously that's not cancer.
That's just the body's making too many red blood cells because of stuff going on, right? But
body produced too many red blood cells. And when I started taking that testosterone supplement 7 or 8 years ago, however long it's been, we knew that this was a possibility.
Yeah.
You never think you're going to be the guy who gets that side effect, though, right? You never think it's going to be you. But sometimes it is. It has to be somebody. But the good news is, I mean, this is a disease that takes a really long time to get you. Statistically speaking, I die of a blood clot or a heart attack or a stroke due to one of those blood clots. It's still going to spread like wildfire. So number one, if you're that kind of person, fucking I see the room had nice things. You guys deserved it up. So there you go. So I'm gonna go to therapy, sell my dogs in my lap, talk to my friends, and process this, and I hope things go well for you. Hey, sorry about my voice. I'm getting over the flu, but I wanted to say thank you to the people that reached out in the last 24 hours. Content creators, YouTubers, fans, and I hope things go well for you. Hey, sorry about my voice. I'm getting over the flu, but I wanted to say thank you to the people that reached out in the last 24 hours. Content creators, YouTubers, fans, friends, even people that don't even like me have had nice things to say, and I'm really grateful. Thank you. I have a favor to ask of those people, though, and I'm sorry to have to ask anything, but I see the rumor mill's creeping back up again. The same rumor mill that's accused me of God knows what else. And this time they decided that I am faking my cancer diagnosis. And whereas I know that those people know better, I know that nobody's that fucking stupid, it's still going to spread like wildfire. So number one, if you're that kind of person, fucking stop. I get it's fun to LARP about me. I get it's fun to pretend that I'm a piece of shit. And I get that I made my mistakes in the past. But cancer's not something to pretend about.
Again, this was 2 years ago, but he's going to claim recently, in the last couple of days, that they were going to do a test to confirm that he has cancer.
Cancer's not something to joke about. Cancer's not something pretending that I'm lying about cancer for clout and views.
He is absolutely lying. What a piece of shit.
Dude, Destiny's pretty fucking smart on a lot of this shit. And investigating, understanding what he reads. Dude, Destiny's reading comprehension has to be fucking off the chain.
He posts something in here to prove it wrong.
The fucked up thing to do, get help. Secondly, if you see a YouTuber saying that I'm faking this shit, link it to me.
He is faking
I normally free speak advocacy the whole 9 yards, but
yep, sue me.
It's time I finally put my foot down if I have to.
Hold on.
So I will here. Okay? And thirdly, if you see the shit in comment sections, if you see videos about it, shout these motherfuckers down. Let them know. Let them know reality. I get that it's fun to pretend. I get that it's fun to dunk on me and try to ruin my life. I get it. But fuck you if you're doing that.
Live here right now.
I don't want to let you this time. I've let you every other time. I didn't give a fuck what you had to say.
I think maybe his doctor told him, like, hey, we knew an issue when you start TRT, like testosterone therapy, is that, you know, you can produce excess red blood cells. There's a chance that this could mutate into a form of cancer. It's called polycythemia. But, you know, we just need to get your red blood cell replication down. And that starts with getting off the TRT, taking some other steps, you know, medicine this. Because why would they be testing 2 years later to see if he has cancer? If the doctor told him 2 years ago, you got cancer, you got polycythemia vera. And then 2 years down the road, he's like, I don't know, we need to check and see if he got cancer now.
But cancer's not a thing that we're going to joke about, okay? Cancer's not a thing that we're going to pretend I'm lying about.
He would be the biggest blue baby.
That's not a thing we're going to do, okay?
If you can get me on the show, tell Keemstar to DM me on Twitter.
Here we go.
I will get on my phone and I will be on the show, okay?
Here we go. We got a call.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
Destiny confronts Keemstar. Or Destiny confronts Boogie on Keemstar show.
Let's see if it works. Good luck. Join video call. Oh my God, there's so many people.
Ladies and gentlemen, a popular streamer by the name of Destiny.
Yeah, I know.
Where the fuck is our webcam at?
Listen, probably OBS is using it.
Oh my God. Hold on. We're turning the camera on.
I have to delete it.
You guys really ruined the intro. He gave you guys a big shout out.
Can you just shut the fuck
and
up?
then there's no shout out.
So
And it's just your voice, and it's just fucking cringe.
Everything about...
There.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have a camera?
You know...
How you guys doing tonight? What's going on?
Yeah, how's it going? We can see you. You guys look fantastic.
Turn it on.
I mean, some of you.
Don't be so friendly.
Look at
There we go.
Hey,
Oh
there
my
we go.
God, we're on.
There you go.
But not X.
Okay, we don't need him. Don't worry about him.
You're not, you can say whatever you want. It's going to be like we said it.
All right. Are we good to go?
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Boogie 2488, you are being confronted tonight. I am 99% sure that you are faking.
No, don't move.
You are faking your cancer diagnosis, Boogie.
Uh-oh.
Okay, let's hear that.
Let's hear that.
Did the doctor ever tell you, or did he ever say the word cancer?
He said polycythemia vera, which is a form of cancer, as he explained it to me. And no, it is not secondary polycythemia, which is Nicholas Diorio's explanation for this bullshit.
So I think it is secondary polycythemia. Can you explain?
Well, why would he call it polycythemia vera? Why would he tell me that I have hormone markers in my blood that tells me I have polycythemia vera? Why does he order a bone marrow biopsy to confirm it?
Well, if he ordered a bone marrow biopsy to confirm it, it would be weird that you told us that you already had a diagnosis and a confirmation.
Exactly. The doctor wouldn't say, you've got cancer. We're going to do another test to verify it, right? He would say, hey, there's a chance that you have this cancer. You know, we're not sure. Because if he still needs to verify, he's not going to tell you have cancer.
Because the markers are in my blood. The hormone markers are in my blood.
Correct. But you said that you'd received a diagnosis, but now you just told me you got a bone marrow biopsy to
It's a
confirm.
diagnosis, and now we're confirming.
Sure.
It's called a confirmation. The hormone markers are already in my blood.
Yep. So I think what happened is, Boogie, based on everything...
biopsy because I'm wanting to do that, because I'm praying to God I don't fucking have cancer.
He doesn't care.
I'm praying to God I'm taking the one...
Wait, you're praying to God you don't have cancer? So the doctor said, Boogie, you got cancer, but there's a chance that we're going to do this other test and you don't have cancer. So Boogie's praying. Boogie's lying about his fucking cancer.
1 in a million fucking chance that they're fucking wrong, and that there's no reason to have the hormone.
There's a 1 in a million chance that they're wrong. Then you're not diagnosed, buddy. Right? This is like having a mass, right? Let's say you have a mass of something. The doctor thinks it could be a tumor. He's not going to say, you 100% have cancer on your lung. We're going to go get a biopsy, and if it's not cancer, we'll back this back down. But right now, I'm telling you, you got cancer. Go tell people on the internet you got cancer. But if it comes back and we do the biopsy and it's not cancer and it's something else, then we'll just back everything back down. That's not how it works. We start at the bottom and work our way up.
Imbalances in my blood.
Yeah, why are you praying to God 2 years after you said that you have cancer, that you don't have cancer?
The markers mean that his body is producing. The markers would mean that his body's saying, hey, we got too many red blood cells. But that, again, could be caused by his TRT treatment, right? That's a side effect of testosterone replacement.
Because 2 years ago, they told me I have polycythemia vera based on the fact that I had increased red blood cell counts, increased hemoglobin, and the hormone markers in my blood. And it all spelled.
But there's other things that cause those exact things, right? That doesn't mean it's cancer.
Pretty definitively that I have this. And so he wanted to get a bone marrow biopsy, but it is intrusive and expensive, so they decided to forego it. I would like to still get it done because I am hopeful, I am praying that there's a fucking merciful God of the world that would be.
Well, now, so he's hoping to get it done, right? I'm hoping to get the test done to disprove my doctor. I'm looking for a second opinion. But earlier, the doctor ordered a test to confirm it. Now, Boogie does not like being confronted. Boogie does not like trying to backtrack his lies. Earlier, the doctor ordered it to confirm that he had cancer. Now, he's just a hopeful guy who did this on his own to disprove all the doctors that say 100% cancer, 200% cancer. It's in 2 bones.
Willing to fucking let this be wrong, even though it most certainly is not.
So why are you talking about expensive cancer treatments if they don't even know if you have cancer? That nothing has been confirmed yet.
They're treating it. Shit, how are they treating it for 2 fucking years?
How are they treating it, Boogie?
Blood tests, blood thinners, bloodletting, medications. They're trying to get my weight down. I'm seeing the doctor every 3 fucking months.
So, blood test, getting your weight down. He mentioned bloodletting, which would be a way to get rid of excess red blood cells. Hold on. The treatment for this type of, the most common treatment for polycythemia vera and secondary polycythemia would be frequent blood withdrawals, right? Because you got excess red blood cells. So it's less about bloodletting. It's more about blood donation. As long as you're a donor, you can donate, right? Don't have any weird venereal diseases. It says it can also cause an excess in your blood, in your body's iron stores, so you need to get excess iron out. But that's for whether it's cancer or whether his body's just producing excess blood cells.
I'm doing blood tests every fucking month. We're doing it.
Yep. So they don't know if you have cancer or not. So we try to
hold my fucking hand.
Well, sure. So I can explain everything, right? So Boogie has a condition called polycythemia, which means there's an elevation in his...
Polycythemia vera.
No,
Polycythemia vera.
Why are you a guy who actually knows something?
Polycythemia vera. He knows more about my fucking medical diagnosis than I do.
Well,
right the fuck ahead. I was in the fucking room. My girlfriend was in the fucking room.
You don't get this fucking crazy, right?
Go right the fuck ahead, Destiny. Go right the fuck ahead.
Yo, be nice, Boogie. Yeah, I will go ahead. Okay, so I think that Boogie was told that he has polycythemia, which means he has an elevation of his red blood cells. Now, there is a cancer known as polycythemia vera, which is caused by a mutation in some part of your body that causes an elevation of 3 different levels of things. You'll find one of those is the red blood cell count. However, when Boogie was talking about the polycythemia, he mentioned a couple things that I thought were interesting. The first was that taking an exogenous hormone, TRT, testosterone, that caused a increase in him developing this condition. So taking testosterone will not cause you to develop a cancer. That doesn't, not for this particular cancer, it won't. It will cause you to develop secondary polycythemia. And the second thing that he mentioned was that his doctor ordered a sleep study. That's because one of the things that can cause your body to produce more red blood cells is if you have hypoxemia, which is a lower count of, or a low amount of oxygen in your blood for an extended period of time. And the reason why he ordered that sleep study is probably because Boogie either has pulmonary obstructive something, or he has, as he mentioned, sleep apnea. And sleep apnea, which is a decrease in oxygen overnight, can lead to a decrease in oxygen in your blood, which can lead to an increase in the production of red blood cells. All of the things.
Right, with red blood cells carry oxygen, and your body senses that it's not getting enough oxygen, it's going to make more red blood cells. It doesn't understand that it's because something else.
That Boogie described, both the things that cause this and the treatments for it are consistent with secondary polycythemia. None of these are consistent with cancer, and the fact that he's saying that he's now ordered a biopsy 2 years after. 2 years after. 2 years ago, you said that you had a cancer diagnosis, but now you've just said now they're doing a biopsy to check for cancer.
Confirmation.
A lot of people get cancer, and then the doctor says, "Hey, we think you might have cancer," and then they get it confirmed 2 years later.
House MD, are we treating a blood cancer without actually confirming it yet? For 2 years, you've been having a cancer treatment without confirming there's actually cancer there?
because it was in my blood markers, and that's pretty.
Because he's treating he's treating it as if the TRT caused it, right? Because if it's not cancer causing it, you're still gonna have the same treatment, right? You're still gonna do blood donations, basically, a lot of phlebotomy, right? You're a lot of fucking blood coming out to get the excess. It says it's very often at first, and then you can do it less and less often. But if it's not cancer, but now suddenly they just want to go in and see, could it be cancer? I don't know.
Goddamn definitive. You can Google that, Destiny. When you have the hormones, when you have the hormone in the blood that is produced by this cancer, it's pretty goddamn definitive. It doesn't show up for just the shit sakes of it.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
You won't keep saying you're the patient. You know what your body has.
Yes.
But when I go to the doctor, they give me shit like this, which is like papers.
Because I was going to say, Boogie can have this whole thing. Show me a single document with polycythemia vera on it. You don't have one. I don't think the doctor ever diagnosed you with it.
Can I ask you something, Destiny? Is it possible that when the doctor was seeing him, they were asking you could have polycythemia, if I'm saying it correctly, or polycythemia vera, but you don't have the cancer version. You have this version.
Correct.
There is I'm asking him. It could be like a loss of translation type situation?
Yeah. So polycythemia just means you have an elevation of red blood cells. That's all it means. Your red blood cell count is high. And
so you can be fat and sleep apnea.
Sleep apnea could do it. Yeah, anything. Yeah, like that could cause it. And the fact that Boogie said, we knew that when I was taking TRT, this was a risk of that. That means that risk is to develop secondary polycythemia. That was the risk, and then that is what ended up happening, unfortunately. But it's not cancer. That was induced because of just a low oxygenation of the blood.
So listen, here's what I just found on Google. Physicians may also measure the levels of erythropoietin, EPO, which is a hormone that causes the bone marrow to produce red blood cells. In individuals with polycythemia vera, which is cancer, EPO levels are abnormally low. Okay? But secondary polycythemia, which is what he actually has, is caused by some other type of condition in your body, not cancer. So TRT or sleep apnea or whatever, not cancer. Caused by some other condition in your body. And usually you have the exact same hormone marker in your blood. Because the hormone marker in your blood is because it's producing the red blood cells, right?
So explain to me, Destiny, why there are hormone markers in my blood that have tested positively for polycythemia vera.
If there was, then he wouldn't have.
One of your medical papers, dude.
Yeah,
I'm never showing any of these motherfuckers my medical papers. Go fuck yourself. I said that 2 years ago, and I'm staying by it now. Destiny Jackson Clark, Keemstar, you can see it when I fucking die. It's my fucking goddamn medical record. I've given you every goddamn phone call. I've given you every fucking text. It's never made a single goddamn thing.
I feel like Boogie is the type of person that the doctor may say, like, hey, we've got this issue. Could be a couple things. Could be your sleep apnea. It could be your weight. You know, it could be your TRT treatment we've had you on. Could also be cancer. And in a lot of people, we do see as cancer, but they're not, you know, they don't usually have sleep apnea and TRT and all these other things. And then Boogie runs home and posts, I got cancer.
Better. I'm not going to fucking do it. Go fuck yourselves.
You could easily end this right now by just showing
I would rather you motherfuckers continue to LARP. I would rather you motherfuckers continue to LARP.
Okay, well, no, here's the question.
Goddamn thing. The last goddamn thing.
You're the one who's LARPing.
Actually, hold on. If you have the cancer, I read this wrong. EPO, a hormone that causes bone marrow to produce red blood cells. In individuals with polycythemia vera, EPO levels are abnormally low. This is from the cancer version. EPO, abnormally low. Secondary, so he's saying, these markers are in my blood, these markers are in my blood, these markers are in my blood. Secondary polycythemia is caused by some other condition, not cancer in your body, usually excess production of the hormone EPO. So what he's saying right here, so like EPO is a hormone produced that makes your bone marrow produce red blood cells. If you have an excess, which is what he's saying, these hormone markers are in my blood, these hormone markers are in my blood. If you have an excess, that's the not cancer version. That's the hormone-induced version, probably from TRT or sleep apnea. If your EPO is abnormally low, so your hormones are saying, don't make more red blood cells, but your bone marrow keeps pumping out red blood cells, that's the cancer version. So what he's admitting to right now, and he doesn't even realize it, is because these hormone levels are high in his blood, he's admitting that he does not have the cancer version. because the hormone says produce red blood cells. Now, if you had cancer that was just producing, all cancer does is it just mutates. It keeps putting out cells. Now, the cells we're talking about are red blood cells. So if you had the cancer version that's doing it through cancer, right? If you have the cancer version that's doing this through cancer, it is cancer and it's producing these red blood cells. Your body would almost stop that hormone and say, we don't need any more red blood cells, but the cancer keeps producing them. But if you don't have the cancer version, something else is causing it, and it's this hormone. So him just saying right now that all this is going on, he's admitting that he doesn't have the cancer version. He doesn't even realize it.
I have in the fucking world.
So the easy thing here is if there are blood markers that definitively confirm polycythemia vera as a blood cancer, then why are they doing a biopsy?
Because I'm insisting on it.
Drop the microphone.
No, wait. Why would you have to insist on a biopsy if you can confirm with blood markers? It's because you can't.
Because I'm hoping that I are wrong.
If you're hoping they're wrong, then why 2 years ago you're talking about fighting cancer? Why would you be talking about
I have been for 2 years.
Fighting cancer how? With what? With blood thinners?
Oh, this one's for you, Boogie.
Because oh god damn it. Because you treat polycythemia vera almost identically to the way that you treat polycythemia. Because you can't detect the cancer directly. All you can do is treat the symptoms, and the symptoms are
because you can't detect. Did you hear what he just said? Because you can't detect the cancer directly. He's lying, first of all. And if that's true, then he doesn't have cancer. The doctor never told him he has cancer. Listen closely.
You treat polycythemia vera almost identically to the way that you treat polycythemia. Because you can't detect the cancer directly. All you can do is treat the symptoms. And the symptoms are identical to polycythemia because it's the same fucking thing with the exception of one's getting caused by an external source and the other's being caused by fucking cancer. And in this case, it's getting caused by fucking cancer.
So I do think there are different treatments available for polycythemia vera, and I think that the outcomes for that are significantly worse than just having it induced by some other thing like sleep apnea or hypoxia. But I mean, if you wanted to,
the treatment plan is pretty identical. Yeah, the treatment plan is pretty identical.
So if there are two huge things. So one, you could show it to a private party and they could confirm, somebody like Keemstar. But two, the issue is that if you want to keep your medical issues to yourself, I think everybody is entitled to that right, obviously. But if you're going to
I should have never talked about it to begin with.
Well, hold on. Hold on. Stop. Hold on.
The reason I was going to do a GoFundMe was because they verify, for the record. They verify.
So
that would be the third party.
Yeah. So GoFundMe does not do the best.
GoFundMe doesn't do, unless you're reported, which I'm sure Boogie would be. Then they don't verify.
Verification, as has been proven multiple times in the past. But the issue is that you say that you shouldn't have talked about it. But the fact is that you did. You did the day that you got the diagnosis. You're like, well, I was considering doing this, but I just got my diagnosis today. So you did it instantly.
I sat on it for a while.
Wait, on your tweet, did you not say that I got my diagnosis today and then talk about it?
They told me. Okay. They told me in the office that they were worried about it. Then they did the blood test. Then yes, I did tweet about it on the day that I got confirmation. But I sat on it for a couple of months before, or for a couple of weeks before talking about it because it took a while for us to get the blood results.
So you sat on it when you didn't know the answer? That's not called sitting on it. That's just called waiting for an answer. Also, if you were so keen on diagnosing whether you had cancer or not, why would you wait 2 years to get the biopsy?
I've never followed my Twitter before, but I tend to tweet shit as it happens. This one I said it's
real-time news, motherfucker.
I don't understand why you're waiting. I don't understand why you wait 2 years.
Cancer diagnosis.
There is no cancer. It's secondary polycythemia. There's no cancer here. There's no proof of it. You can't show anybody proof of it because it's not real. And yeah, I don't know. As somebody that like his mom had cancer.
Oh, I could definitely show it. I'm not showing anybody my medical records.
It's just a little bit.
Tommy C's laugh is infectious. I used to watch Tommy C, SFTP, every fucking day. He just covers like drama going on around the internet, and he is social commentary, right? He's a funny guy, and he had a funny cast of people at one time, and I think a lot of them has made their own shows. He's a funny dude.
Gross, I feel like when people are talking publicly about fighting cancer and
stuff.
stuff.
Who's the person that faked cancer before, the chick? You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Only had cancer once. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a vintage meme. That's a vintage.
Was it Emily from RuneScape or
There's
something?
so many people that don't know that meme right now.
Can I ask Boogie, is it possible that you just jumped the gun on releasing your diagnosis thing?
No.
You don't think you jumped the gun a little bit?
Anything is possible, sure.
I just don't understand why you won't just go grab a piece of paper and just disprove them. Like, you have all these feelings.
He has nothing but those words on it.
That's Wings of Redemption is the goddamn voice of reason here.
And like I said a year ago, when these motherfuckers tried to
hold on.
This is the one last thing I have left. The motherfuckers were in my marriage.
The one last thing I have left is between me and my doctor, it's my cancer diagnosis. That's secret.
You guys were in everything else. You're in every aspect of my life. Fuck you. Let me have one goddamn.
What? You're trying to tell me
tomorrow. Lead. Boogie lies about cancer, then hand this shit over to you pieces of shit. That's just. I'd rather do that. Go ahead and print it.
Can you get your patient portal up?
So he's saying, I would rather everybody on the internet believe I'm lying about cancer than showing a thing that says I have polycythemia vera. Vera, I think is the way to say it, but still.
On your phone and like send it to Tommy.
I'm not going to. He's never doing that. He does not have a cancer diagnosis.
Sure, I can, but I'm not going to. Yes, I can. Not going to. Yep, I could. I could show. I could prove you wrong. I'm not going to.
There's 0% chance that he has one. Remember, every leading thing for this cancer diagnosis the doctor talked about has to do with secondary polycythemia. The sleep apnea was a contributor to that, and the TRT was a contributor to that.
Except for the hormone markers in my blood. Except for
but if you had hormone markers for it, that's either a definitive diagnosis, in which case you wouldn't be getting a biopsy 2 years later, or it wasn't definitive, and you would have gotten a biopsy 2 years later instead of saying they're treating you for cancer for 2 years. You just said before that you don't have the money for extra medical stuff. If they don't need that test to confirm cancer, why would you spend extra money on a biopsy they don't need?
I don't know if you heard this, Destiny. I just got a bit of a windfall.
Ooh.
Might have heard about it.
Yeah, you may have heard of it.
We have. Yes, he did a $10,000 crypto scam, using partly his cancer thing as an excuse for why he needed to scam his fans. But
I just wanted. I want to join real quick.
That's true. Oh, I just got up $10,000 on a crypto scam. So I don't know if you heard Destiny or not, but that's why I'm going to have the biopsy finally to confirm it. Double confirmed. 200% accurate.
Because like you just got caught lying.
When he says those so he's under the impression that he has these hormone markers that he shouldn't have in his blood. That is 1,000% polycythemia, secondary polycythemia, 100%. Because if it was the cancer that was causing it, so a red blood cell that mutated that just keeps replicating, then the markers would be extremely low. And he would be saying, why are the markers for it so low? It's because the cancer is producing it. I think they did like I did and just read over like the marker thing, because I thought they both said the same thing, but they're low in the secondary and they're high in the cancer. Or I'm sorry, they're high in the cancer and they're low in the secondary. No, that's still backwards. They're low in the cancer and high in the secondary. Yes.
About me. It's a
Sounds like a lot of to go through.
And now you're being confronted. And now you're being confronted on one of the biggest lies on internet history. And you won't prove it? No. You won't prove it?
I'd rather you go ahead and print it.
If this is true,
print it. I'd rather everybody just say it, and I'll go along with it, that I'm lying about cancer than I would to just show anybody here. He doesn't have to send it to me. He doesn't have to send it to Destiny. He can send it to one of his friends on the podcast, and they'll say, okay, I am reading this, and it says he has polycythemia vera. Nope.
And you lied about cancer. This is the biggest scandal on the internet.
It's not, but go ahead and print it anyway. Go ahead and print it anyway.
Prove it.
None of you motherfuckers.
Fucking prove it.
2 years ago, and I'm not doing it today. Go right ahead. Print it. Print it the way it is. Go right ahead.
Print it. Run it.
Okay, so I guess just to wrap up, because we don't want to take all you guys' time tonight. So just a couple things, right? So the story as laid out, if you look up secondary polycythemia versus polycythemia vera, all of the leading things that Boogie talks about leading to his condition are consistent with secondary polycythemia, not the mutation that would cause polycythemia vera. The things that Boogie says that his doctor wants him to check for afterwards, like doing a sleep study, are consistent with secondary polycythemia, not primary polycythemia. And the fact that he says, the fact that he says that he had the blood markers or something to confirm it 2 years ago, but is now getting a biopsy for secondary confirmation, even though he says he doesn't have the money for medical bills, but I guess now that he does have money, he's going to waste all of it on biopsying things that are already confirmed, or at least confirmed enough that he wanted to talk about it publicly for 2 years ago, and then use it to fundraise the money that he now has so that he can do the biopsy that I don't think he's doing, by the way. I don't think he's actually doing that biopsy. I think that's
Imagine if your doctor just said, hey, you know, there's a chance, there's something in your blood, there's a chance you have cancer. It could be 30 other things, but we'd like to get it checked out. And you run to the internet and say, I have cancer. I'm starting a GoFundMe. And then you get that GoFundMe money and people are like, oh, I hope you're using it for treatment. And you're like, oh, I have to make sure I got it first.
Well, if you wanted to disprove it, all he has to do is show a private party this particular medical thing, and and it would be
that's a fraud. To summarize, Jesse, you're basically saying he's kind of unlucky he doesn't have cancer.
I mean, for this particular case, yeah. I mean, if you want, here, I'll do this. If Boogie can confirm, that he has polycythemia vera, and he actually has like a doctor confirmation of the blood cancer, I'll throw $5,000 towards his medical treatment. I'll make that personal pledge right now.
Tommy's laugh.
You're not getting my medical records for 20, not for 50.
Tommy lives over in Germany.
My medical record.
$5,000.
I said
you leave your medical history, but you won't.
Okay, so then I just want people to remember in the future then, when Boogie says, I have to do XYZ scam to raise money because my medical bills are hurting so much, he can speak publicly about his medical issues to scam his fans to raise money, but he can't take $5,000 to privately confirm a diagnosis that he already publicly said that he has. Doesn't make any sense, but okay.
Even I have a fucking limit. Even I have a fucking limit.
And my limit is confirming what I said.
The limit, though. Yeah, I think you can probably understand that he, there's a big history of people, I guess, scamming people with cancer, and it's like the worst of the worst. And you're getting confronted with that.
Red and white blood cell counts can mean a few different things.
Right now, when your response to that is nah.
Go ahead.
I'm not going ahead. I'm explaining to you.
Go ahead. Go right the fuck ahead.
I don't care. I'm not going ahead with anything.
He's speaking to you.
No, I'm saying
I'm trying to explain to you why we're in this situation. It's just that people view this as one of the lowest things, right? It's about as bad as it gets.
You have polycythemia vera. Why aren't you just trying to disprove it, other than making you look like you're? Because 2 years ago, I'd rather this is the last thing I have is my medical record.
Do you care about this anymore?
If I hand this over, I've given over literally everything. saw the other thing.
Would have given directly to Destiny himself. I mean,
It's funny. I'm just hanging up on them.
medical records.
And you know what? This might have turned out differently had he messaged me the night before. We had
yeah. You wouldn't have nagged him for a whole night not to come out.
Why do you think the whole thing was not just a confirmation?
Because I don't know. I have no idea.
All right, well, hey, thanks a lot, guys. Cool. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Thanks, man. Good night, guys.
Yeah, have a pleasant evening.
I was so right. 100%. He was faking it, right? None of his story makes sense. I was so right.
I don't fucking
It's
know.
kind of hard not to pull a fucking Soldier Boy and you go, and you fat as fuck or some shit.
Why?
Is that where your mind is going right away? Oh my god, dude! Did you? I didn't watch this, but apparently it was a good documentary. Is the whole thing on this dude? Did you see it?
So there is a Boogie documentary. It's rough. So Boogie, hold on, we'll go over Boogie's finances.
It was done really well.
Okay, so what is the cliff notes on this dude? Because all I know,
and he made money off that documentary. He had to have.
Oh, is he was fat as fuck, and I guess he lost weight, but then he got it back, or maybe he didn't get super not fat.
So Boogie's original scam was he crowdfunded money when he started being popular on YouTube. He crowdfunded money, even though he was making money on YouTube. He crowdfunded money to like go to like fucking Mexico and have a gastric bypass. And he ended up like, you know, people that have a gastric bypass, if they follow the treatment. So when you first have it, I know a person that had it that literally would have to eat baby food out of a baby food jar and couldn't finish the whole tiny little Gerber jar, right? Could eat like a half ounce of food and then feel like they were puking. The problem is it literally makes your stomach smaller, right? The problem is your stomach grows and stretches. So if you keep pushing it, like let's say at first you're sick as fuck and you're eating baby food, but then when you start getting your appetite back, you just fall into old habits. I can eat a double cheeseburger. I can eat fucking 5 orders of French fries. It doesn't do anything. So people lose hundreds of pounds off it. Boogie lost like 40 fucking pounds and then started gaining it back because he wouldn't stop fucking eating. And now he went to his audience basically saying, I'm going to die. If I don't do something, I'm going to die. I can't afford it. I need you guys to save my life. This is going to be life-changing for me. I can't wait. You guys got to save me kind of deal. I'm going to fucking die. I know it's coming. It's so horrible. I just sat here and wait for death. They donated the money, and he couldn't even fucking eat right. And now he's bigger than ever. It's one thing if you pay for it, your insurance pays for it or something, you want to be a shithead and not fucking. But when your audience pays for it and you're baiting them by like, you've got to save my life, and they do it, and then you fuck it up.
I don't know.
I thought he got the thing where they make your stomach not as big or not as stretched, whatever.
The staple, the staple thing.
I've had friends get that.
Okay.
Didn't turn out too good.
Oh, you're talking about that gastric bypass surgery.
The pre-Ozempic method.
Yeah, but that's good though, because if you continue on your plan with dieting and exercise, whatever, right? Then you garner good results because you're on a path, and that kind of plateaus you up, right?
Yeah.
Right. It basically it gives you like you've got a few months to where you can get all your habits in. You know, you probably won't feel great because you're eating a small amount. You'll probably feel hungry all the time, even though you feel like you're going to puke too. But it does give you like that start. Let's say you have to do like 5 years of this path, and you start out like down at the bottom and you're going to the 5-year goal. It gives you your first couple months. Boom. You start seeing weight loss. You can move around. You feel energetic. You're not feeling hungry all the time because your stomach's literally smaller. So it gives you that head start. It's not that bad of a deal if you're going to use it for its potential.
To continue that way, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't, then it's kind of useless.
Yeah, it just fucks you.
Then you just plateau up. That's it.
Okay.
That's exactly what he did. So there's a famous like YouTuber that does like finances. This is him, Caleb Hammer. He does financial audits, and he's kind of rude about it. That's why people like him. They're like, "What the fuck are you doing? You got a $900 goddamn truck payment? Well, you fucking what's it worth to you?" Like that kind of deal. Like he's kind of rude about it. He takes on Boogie, and he tries his best to be nice. But all of his viral clips are him like losing his shit on people. But he tries to be nice with Boogie at first. Check this out. I've already watched half of it, but I'll start it over.
So, which is where I've been for 25.
That's Boogie.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie290, coming to you live again through the power of the internet. I'm an old school YouTuber that was like one of the first to the market, going back all the way to 2006 is when I started my YouTube channel. Where are you based out of these days? I'm living in Fayetteville, Arkansas, which is where I've been for 25 years. So that makes like...
Listen to some of this guy's expenses. Just listen. Now, people are basically funding his lifestyle. Keemstar, so he basically said, if I don't start making like, if I can't make like $200,000 this year extra in donations, I'm going to lose my house. Keemstar, he's a millionaire, right? He's got a successful Drama Alert and all that shit. he's like, well, I'll just buy your house. You can live there till you die, and then I get it, right? You're leaving it to me in the will. Now, Boogie agreed to that, but what's fucked up is Boogie had a guy that was doing like his lawn care, his home repair, and helping him with things, and even helping him pay the bills at times that Boogie had already promised the house to verbally and sold it out for money. Now, Keemstar didn't know that, but Boogie took that deal. And now all he's got to do is fund his fucking food and his like 20-year-old girlfriend. But he spends too much on fucking sugar babies and fucking hookers and shit.
You didn't do the
Fast
standard
food.
like, oh, things are starting to work in YouTube. Let's move to LA. Or I know that was a huge thing a few years ago.
I was really tempted to, but as I said back at the time, I was LA poor, Arkansas rich. Now that's changed a lot because Northwest Arkansas has the University of Arkansas, go Razorbacks. We have the home offices of Walmart, and Walmart did this really smart thing where they told every business, if you want to sell at Walmart, you have to open an office in Northwest Arkansas. So there's like 2,000 offices, small businesses built. We're the home of Tyson.
That's actually not true, but
Foods. So if you're eating chicken in America,
they do influence a lot of businesses to come there. Obviously, business influence other businesses, but there's people that's got products in Walmart that don't have any presence in Arkansas.
Sending that money back home to us, and we're the home of JB Hunt, one of the largest trucking companies.
The fastest way, they used to say the fastest way to become a millionaire is to get Walmart to pick up your product, right? There's so many fucking locations. Just the initial order would make you a multimillionaire of a product that you sell for $5.
And because all of those companies are there, including the Razorback games and all of this other stuff, you have the Walmart children, the children's of Sam Walton spending money on the area. It's become a really expensive area to live in, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, that's the home of all that. But sadly, to be blunt, you're kind of the home of, I think, what every YouTuber fears, right?
Yeah.
The decline. I think you went from, if I'm not mistaken, millionaire, correct? A technical millionaire.
I was close. I was really, really close. At one point, I had... And I mean, like for 2 days, when I say close. For 2 days, I had about $780,000, $800,000 in crypto. Went to bed one night, and it was worth half that when I woke up.
What were you in?
So here's my biggest regret. I originally invested in Ethereum, and this was based on a few friends becoming Ethereum millionaires. And I had like an initial investment of about $200,000. I put it in, and it fell for the first time. Yeah. My 200,000 went down like 80. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't really need the money right now. I'm making money. I can live off
How much are you making?
10 to 15,000, I think.
A month?
Yeah, in a month. Right?
Incredible.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Former income, $10,000 to $15,000 a month.
I mean, incredible wealth, more than you could ever hope to spend, right? Yeah. And eventually, that crypto went up to past my investment point. Got close. If I held on my Ethereum right now, if I'd never needed to dip into it and I had not gambled on stupid altcoins, I'd probably have about 1.5 million in Ethereum right now.
Even still, like, I mean, okay, what year was that? What year was that?
The initial investment happened in 2019. Yeah.
Okay, how much did you put into Ethereum?
200,000.
200,000 in 2000.
The initial investment was in 2018. Okay. And then the first market crash.
2018. Let's say you put it at the beginning. S&P 500 was worth 271. Now it's worth 458. It would have almost doubled. Almost doubled.
If I put in like traditional stocks or
just the S&P 500 just following the market in general. Yep. Was there not a single person surrounding you? Was there not a single person just in your YouTube circle, in the family circle, who's like, dude, I'm making money?
I had the opposite. I had people telling me, you should invest in crypto. Everybody I knew was
everyone you knew.
All of my YouTuber friends, Majority Nuggets, Skip, all these people. Like, look, I made millions from crypto. Nobody was telling me that it was too late in the game. Nobody was telling me that I bought Ethereum at $30 and now you're gonna buy it at $280.
It wasn't even too late in the game. It's just like crypto's a gamble.
Yeah.
It's a straight up a gamble. It's like, I hardly consider it an investment versus like.
So he said he doesn't need that money, and now he's blaming it all on the money he lost.
Traditional. Okay. So
I mean, not to make any excuses, but keep in mind, I didn't come from money. I'm the son of a coal miner, neither, right? And so no one in my life was ever trying to teach me what to do with money or how to do it with money. So somebody comes along and they're like, look, I took my initial million and I turned it into 20 million. Yeah. You should do that too.
That's why I'm excited about this conversation. Usually on the show, I just meet with random people who are either part of the audience or they're off the street, and I just help them through the situations. You're an interesting case here because you follow the case of the professional athlete, the actor, the YouTuber. Yep. Boom, lots of money comes in. We put it here, we put it there, but we spend it, just goes crazy, then we end up broke. It's a traditional story, and that's why I'm so excited to have this conversation. Is because you just followed the path. I mean, what would you say you were today in total? Since you guys are so awesome for supporting me, I partnered with a company called Kudos to give some money back to you. So stick to the end of this to see how you can participate. Kudos is fantastic because they double the cash back you receive on every online purchase with a simple click of a button. On top of that, with their current holiday promo, you can receive up to 25% cash back on places like Walmart, Sephora, and Priceline. That's basically free money on purchase you would have made anyway. They even suggest the perfect credit card for each purchase, all with a slick browser extension or on your iPhone. So if you have multiple credit cards, you don't have to keep track of the different reward categories for each. All you have to do is add Kudos to your desktop or iPhone with just 2 clicks. Just shop like normal and check out Kudos will automatically appear and take responsibility. It's
everybody else's fault. Always
free money. Why would I not? So far, they've helped 150,000 members earn over $100 million in rewards this year alone. And here's the fun part: every single one of you who signs up through this video gets entered to win a grand prize. To participate, all you have to do is go to joinkudos.com/Caleb and enter the promo code HAMMER. For each sign up, we'll throw $1 into the pot, and one person will win the grand prize on January 31st to start the new year's off right. There's a live counter on the page showing the current grand prize total, so check it out for free. The rewards are great, and if you get the grand prize, it's like a bonus Christmas gift. The equity in your house is what's carrying you.
Yeah, that's everything. Yeah. My bottom line comes down to if and when I need to sell my house, I'll have a nest egg of probably $300,000 that I can hopefully invest smartly this time and live off of the dividends. I'd like to think I wouldn't screw up a second time. I won't like buy crypto a second time.
Crypto, but like what next? Like, how would you say you've become educated on personal finances?
I at least know not to do that. And I think the other thing, a lot more not to do. I think the other thing to do is hire a professional.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, get that financial advisor in your corner. That is like the key. Okay. So I just want to start with the basic things for where we are today. YouTube ad revenue. That's the big boy. That's what's bringing in the primary cash monies right now.
And I showed you my numbers. I made about $44,000 last year, but
which gives us $3,724 a month on average. But we know a lot of that has to do with
the spike came from this documentary.
Right? Okay, the documentary link below. Mike's awesome.
And that spike absolutely will not be sustainable. Now I have a few other projects. I got a great podcast in the works called the Local Podcast. We just made our 5th episode. It's profitable. I think that's going to be an income bringing.
That's the podcast that we were just watching, the Local Podcast.
going to bring in probably $2,000 a month, I think, within the next 6 months. So that's going to be
not what Destiny was on, but what Destiny called into.
Lifeline. My YouTube numbers, I think, are going to settle at probably $3,000 a month. But if you look at my finances, if we've gotten into them, to be comfortable, $2,100 mortgage, $800 a month health insurance, utilities, bills, I need about $7,000 a month to maintain my existence.
To be comfortable, he needs $7,000 a month.
Lifestyle, which I just don't think we can do.
Oh, well, trust me, we will get there. Patreon, like honestly, what's even the point? It's $122 a month.
I never
do anything on there.
No, I never promoted.
See, okay, to diversify some of the income stream here, we launched a Patreon. We did a budgeting program, but we didn't just do them as cash grabs. We actually thought of them as potential future business avenues. And the way that we did them is we put way more value into them than what we were charging.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And
so my Patreon, if you go and read it, it originally said, "This is an AdSense forgiveness Patreon. If you want to give me $5 a month because you use ad blocker, please do." And that was all. I never promoted it. I never pushed it. I never, for the most part.
You have dedicated fans. You do have dedicated fans. You've gone from almost 4 million subscribers down to almost 5 million subscribers down to gonna fall below 4 potentially.
Yeah, it probably will. Probably within by the time it's there. Honestly,
so with that, like there's clearly people that are still very dedicated boogie heads.
And
Whatever you might call them.
I did ask these people for help like a year ago, and the internet publicly shamed me.
You've asked people
provided
a lot.
No value. I mean, like one time I threw myself on the. I took a huge hit to my health, and I was like, not really scared because these medical bills are starting to pile up. And this one time I came out, and I'm like, hey, I really could.
I'm trying to find his channel to see. Filters by channel. 3.97. He did fall below 4 million. To think that you can't, if he would just stream, he would make money. But he's a lazy piece of shit, dude. He won't even follow through with the stuff that he promises or says or make video or whatever, right? He's a lazy piece of shit. He would make even more money than that. But to think you can't survive a 4 million subscribers is wild.
Use some help.
Wasn't there the oops? I just accidentally bought a $100,000 Tesla. Please give me money.
That was a bit. Like I never bought a Tesla.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't get a Tesla?
No, of course not.
Oh, interesting.
I'm driving a Toyota hybrid Corolla that I bought used for $20K.
Yeah, I saw the Toyota. I was like, did he get rid of his Tesla?
Never had one.
Never had one. So that's his internet rumor.
I mean, so I did. I went with my friend McJuggernuggets to a Tesla dealership. He test drove. I test drove. Right. He's like, I'm gonna buy one. I'll help you buy one. Let's look into it, getting you one. And I got this crazy idea in my head. You know, it's showroom experience, right? I'm like, I'm gonna get a Model X with wing doors. And I called my friend at the Celebrity Car Museum in Branson, check him out. And I'm like, how much do you get out as a modern day DeLorean? It was maybe 10, 15, maybe 20. Let's put the money into it. And I thought I'd have a cool show car, right? We're coming off the back of Ready Player One. The DeLorean was all the rage again. Back to the Future anniversaries just happened. I'm like, this seems like a smart investment. While I was in the showroom, and I got home. And I put a $2,500 investment deposit down. I'm like crunching the numbers, looking. I'll spend $50,000 today on a down payment. I'll loan out the other 50. This is a stupid decision.
It would have been aggressively stupid. I'm so glad you did that. I'm so glad you did that. That was one of the scariest things that I thought I heard.
But at that point, why not just play the character? At that point, just let the internet do what the internet's going to do, right? Yeah. I didn't expect front page of Reddit. That was wild. And to this day, I think it's still fascinating. People think I bought that car. I can't believe you thought I bought that. I thought you bought that car. And the worst part about it is, and anybody out there, like if you want to buy a luxury car, buy a luxury car. I don't think it's a smart decision. But if you're going to buy a luxury car, don't buy a Tesla.
So I'm considering getting a Tesla.
They're so expensive for repairs. If someone dents that vehicle, they know it's a luxury car, so they make sure they upcharge you every chance they get. If you want to go,
so he put a deposit down and then went to his audience and said, I already put the deposit down. We're going to have to make this work. So it wasn't, again, he does stuff and then claims it was a joke. No one puts down a fucking $2,500 deposit and then begs their audience for money and then calls it a joke. What's the joke? You lost $2,500?
The fastest possible speed. There's a fee to unlock that. It can do it. It's just a software, governor.
Here's how it basically went. Boogie went with Jesse with his Mick Juggernuts to Tesla shop to test drive Teslas. Jesse and Tesla dealer convinced Boogie to buy one. Boogie put down a deposit for a Model X, the most expensive model. It was like $100K. Then he goes immediately on Twitter to brag about it and declares in a tweet, just bought a Tesla. This tweet is the moment when people thought he bought one. Goes on Twitch to brag and fight with his fans about it, about how he wants to make it look like a DeLorean, reassures his purchase to his followers, how he makes enough money to pay for it, and his followers should buy one too. Even shames them to buy a cheaper model if they don't make enough money like him. After bragging and talking about his upcoming car, Boogie starts getting second thoughts since putting $100K on a car while his career is dwindling isn't the best idea. He goes into panic mode and starts flip-flopping on Twitch and Twitter, says to his audience how he actually doesn't have the money to pay for it, but at the same time brags about he actually does have enough money to pay for it while asking them for money, and while asking them for money, but also saying he could pay for it outright. His followers get annoyed at his flip-flop. Boogie gets mad and starts begging for his fans to pay for the Tesla for his, quote, comedic purposes. That begging clip starts getting spread around with the I bought a Tesla tweet in people's minds, making it look like he bought it and then went to Twitch begging for donations to pay for it. Boogie cancels and loses the deposit from Tesla because of all the social media backlash. That's how it went.
they charge you to let it have the ludicrous speed. Like it's one of the worst things I think you can make. I've routinely
cars in
made
general. I mean, unless it's like a beater that's getting you from A and B, or just safety measures or room for family, everything beyond that starts becoming a want. So luxury vehicles are okay if they're, That's when I bought the newest car I've ever owned was this hybrid. Yeah, I had one previous owner, and I bought it just before all the prices went crazy. So I got it for 20,000. I wanted to build credit, so I put 12,000 down. I loaned out the rest. You still own it? I think maybe 1,000 or 2,000. It's in the neighborhood, not very much. Okay. Facebook, $76 comes in a month. Again, what are we doing there? We're just posting some clips and just nothing's happening, or? No, this is Meta PCs. This is a sponsor that I have. We get 5%. Right. Yeah, we get 5% of the sales that we make in a month. So some months it's low like this, $76. On a really good month, it's maybe 300. Okay, cool. Yeah. Let's keep going through the income. Twitch, again, not. For some reason, I would have thought you were doing better on Twitch. And here's the thing: it's because number one, I don't stream as often as I like. Why? I get very anxious doing it. Most of the bad things that I ever said, I said on Twitch, right? Yeah. That's because I have this trying to totally break character with you here. I have this very Andy Kaufman-esque character. Also, that I'm an idiot, and so I will either push the edge because I grew up on Andy Kaufman, Sam Kinison, Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Andrew Dice Clay. I love shock humor. I listen to shock humor still to this day. People didn't like it when you did it.
No, they like it coming from a shock jock or shock comedian, not the person that some people branded as the Mr. Rogers of YouTube. You can't do that. Bob Saget did it, but I know Bob Saget, right?
So why we do it then?
Stupidly. It just, But on top of that,
so he just says outrageous things, gets banned. People don't like it. People quit watching him, quit donating or whatever because he's stupid.
If you watch one of my live streams, I mention donations, subs, stuff like that, maybe once in a 2-hour stream, because I've never, against the character I play, against the reputation I have, I don't like crowdsourcing.
But you refuse to get a job, and you need money to survive. It's less so we have to do something.
It's less of refusing, more that I just don't know if I could.
I do have good news about that, though.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have 4 million subscribers for long. So
he would die if he got a job. That's what he told the documentary guy. If I had to get a job, I would die, literally. And then he goes to like this. Hold on. Let me show this. This is wild here, but let me show you something else. I think I may have played it. Boogie goes to interview. So he meets with like a job coach or a recruiter or whatever. Look at this interview he does. This is his interview for a documentary that was produced about him with a headhunter type person.
Tell me a little bit about your background and where you think you want to go with the experience that you already have.
YouTube was a lot easier for me because I got to set my own hours. I don't know if I can work where I'm supposed to clock in at 9 and check out at 5 every day. So today we're going to go see a headhunter to see if there's anything out there that would work for me, and I don't want to hit it. What is it with me and my leg today? I rolled my ankle on the way out the door. I may as well go on a pair of crutches. That says the right message. Hi, I'm easily injured. Put me on your workforce. Hi.
Hi, Stephen.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. My name is Dawn.
Dawn, Boogie, or Steve.
Okay, what do you prefer to be called?
Honestly, probably Steve. Let's go with Steve.
Okay, Steve, no problem. Whatever you prefer. And so you are here today because you are seeking. And so you are here today.
Probably Steve. Let's go with Steve.
Okay, Steve, no problem. Whatever you prefer.
They're not aware of him or his content.
You are here today because you are seeking employment.
Yeah.
You're seeking out new work opportunities.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about your background and where you think you want to go with the experience that you already have.
I did work at a small gaming store back in 2006, 2007. Around 2000, I washed dishes in a Mexican restaurant, but the owner of that business has been deported.
So all that's fine, and it's fine to be self-employed. So tell me a little bit about your current self-employment. Like, what is your most current experience? What do you do?
So I've been making online video for about 17 years. I was one of the original YouTubers to really kind of blow up, and my entire shtick has been about pretending to get angry about video games. I do a character voice like this. You sons of bitches! I can't believe you ruined Diablo 3. This is my favorite game. And the kids liked it. And then I got married. Then I got a divorce 5 years later, and I kind of completely and utterly lost my mind. I also got bariatric surgery, so I lost my major coping mechanism, which is food. And now I kind of need to transition into honestly anything, because I'll likely lose my house in the next 6 months if I don't find gainful employment.
Are you currently doing any YouTube stuff? Is that still something you're doing and you're going to continue to do?
Yeah, I mostly do commentary videos now. I am disabled, recognized by the state of Arkansas, also the United States government. There's that. No, the downside of that is I am extremely depressed, so there's some mental health issues that we bring to the table. And then physically,
imagine talking to a headhunter like this.
I am morbidly obese. I have no references, no work history, and no education. And when you Google my name, you might see rumors that I beat my ex-wife and I'm also a pedophile. But that could be an issue for employers that would research me. So if we can find someone who won't Google me, that would be good.
Well, that's difficult. I mean, I can't submit your resume to a client and then request that they don't Google.
And then physically, I'm easily injured. Like I injured myself coming here today. I twisted my ankle. And then my work ethic is not.
He doesn't want a job.
Great because of the depression and stuff. So I do have some pretty big references. Keemstar. He probably put in a good word or. Get behind the camera, get behind the camera. Juggernuggets might. I worked with him. I own a small company with him. He's a big guy.
Okay.
Maybe Angry Grandpa Charles Green, but
So you do have some people that you could reach out to and call upon to give an example of what their experience was working with you.
Yeah, I can't say that would be a glowing review, but it would be a review. You should mention I'm also a felon.
Okay. What's the nature of your felony?
Aggravated assault.
How old is it?
About 2 years.
Okay, so I think there are some avenues you could explore. I definitely don't think it's impossible, but you have some challenges.
Yeah.
Lots of things in life are about your mindset, and you're using weight and disability. I can't.
So his felony is some other people that were trolling him said they're coming to his house, other YouTubers. He said, come on, I'll be waiting for you. They showed up. He comes running outside topless with a firearm, waving it around randomly.
I can't. If that is the attitude that you're going to have when you approach everything, then you can't. Then you won't.
I did work in the porn industry for the better part of 7 years, so I mean.
Be real with me. Do you really think it would be a good idea to go to a real interview and reference porn?
It depended on the job, I would think. Like a strip club maybe, but probably not in a professional setting, I would say.
Yes, I would say that.
What would you think his chances are here of getting employment in the next 3 months?
I'm not sure. When it comes to the felony, we would have to seek corporate approval for that sort
There he is.
of charge in order to proceed forward with a candidate. And they would ultimately be the ones to make the decision as to whether or not
No, he said if you Google me, it might say that I'm a pedo, but I'm not.
we would feel comfortable presenting someone like that to our
God, look at that booking photo.
clients.
Boogie was unable to gain corporate approval. Jesus fucking Christ.
Sorry, but I mean, that's not something I would actually ever say, you know.
Merch. People aren't really buying your merch.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'd take $20 for 3 months, you know, for selling.
I get it as well, but when I start seeing people on this shelf, especially business people, we're just so scattered into different pots, and little's coming in here. It's not adding up too much. Instead of, like, this is what I was going to start bringing up with Twitch. Like, you say, I'm not really on there much, and, you know, things have been consequences from what I've said, and then I'm feeling anxious about it. Then I'm just like, okay, we're done with Twitch. We can just focus all in what we know can be the revenue builder all time.
Which continues to be YouTube ads.
Yes, it does. This is absolutely the biggest number that we have seen so far. Now, would I be able to, they're not going to be able to see it, but would I be able to see the studio app?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think I showed you a screenshot.
Yes, there's a couple things I'm curious about. Private for my eyes only, not for you. Okay. So what I'm
looking like is analytics in YouTube Studio.
Curious about. I want to go lifetime. So, dude, okay, this is what the revenue looks like. YouTube revenue starts, right? Because, you know, obviously, first of all, when YouTube started,
I mean, the first few years I started on YouTube, there was no partner program. Partner program didn't exist.
So we go like, and then just trickle to where we are today. Is what your graph looks like that. That scares me.
Yeah, I had like 2 good years. If you look at the 17-year history, I had like 2 really good years.
You've made $1.3 million. Incredible.
In 17 years, it comes out to what per year?
I know, but that's still math guy. Well, not a public math guy. What did I say? 1.3?
Yeah.
Or 17? 17 was when you started earning?
Or 15 would be when I started earning.
Yeah, $86,000 a year. Well, I mean, you're above the median household income.
Out of disability, which is what I was on when I started YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. But this, managing money correctly and not spending a lot of it on prostitution, would equate to us having
not spending a lot of it on prostitution.
At least a little bit of money now.
Well, again, to address that important part of the doc, number one, those numbers are rounded up. Mike admitted that those numbers are rounded up and adjusted. Secondly, the majority of that money was spent traveling. I went to the Game Awards. I went to Disney. It was still a huge waste of money. But I think if we're dropping character, I think if we're being genuine here, I think
he would pay women to travel with him and sleep with him. That's prostitution. I don't give a fuck if you're like, oh, well, I also paid for her to go to Disney World.
I tried to get a travel off the ground and try to do what my friend Jacob the Carpetbagger and Adam the Voodoo, and I thought people would watch me go to Disneyland. Right? I'm a big fat weird guy trying to do this. Turns out they did not want to watch me do that.
So if you contributed of the 80 whatever that you're making on a monthly basis, 20% on a monthly basis, which is like just very basic recommended, contributing to just the standard stock market 8% return, being a little more conservative there from beginning to end, up years down years, all combined 8%. Sure. Over the course of the 15 years, $17,000 a year would equate to almost $500,000 now. Obviously we continue and just let that continue to compound and hopefully throwing more things in there. We could have gotten you to a point where mid-60s retirement. What scares me now? I'm not going to talk about the age thing like whatever. This is financial.
Well, man, I'm not making it to mid-60s. Let's just be honest.
Oh, well, that's what I want to talk about. I'm not talking about the I know a lot of people want to. Okay, this is financial audit, not dating audit. So she's gonna live longer than you.
Sure.
You guys might get married, maybe.
Sure, probably.
What do we do when you're no longer here and you've left nothing to a widow?
Well, my process has always been, when I met her, without getting into her personal history too much, because it's not necessarily the place for it, but when I met her, she was struggling with severe social anxiety. She was struggling with just getting her life together. When I met her, I was talking to my friend Michael Kidd on camera, and his plan was just be the person you needed when you were in that position, because that's who I was when I was her age. When I was 20 years old, just like her, I couldn't function in the world. I played EverQuest and World of Warcraft and I built terrible websites and made a barely passable income.
What does this have to do with you leaving her or anything?
Well, hold on, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
If I left her destitute, my plan is to still leave her better off than she was.
Okay.
Right?
Well,
like get her out into the world, get her.
I'm gonna leave her with no money, but at least she's not anxious.
The experience she needs, get her working when she's ready.
But if we're responsible with money, you actually leave her in that stake instead of just putting life
I'm
now.
I'm just saying right now, that's a conversation her and I have had, and like that's a very real possibility, and she's chosen to stay with me because she's not in it for the money, right? She's in it for the life experience, she's in it for the love, she's in it for the companionship, she's in it to become a better and stronger person.
But as a partnership, caring about the other partner, you want to, instead of putting now with instant gratification, we want to leave.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Yeah,
right? That's why I'm sitting down with you today.
No, absolutely.
I'm hoping you can help me create a financial plan that can.
That's why I'm calling out immediately, so you don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a mortgage. Now, this is your biggest equity position. What do we think the house is worth today?
Zillow tells me 480. One of the houses in the neighborhood just sold for a little over $5 million. It's the same size. Or sorry, $500,000. $500,000. And it's the same size as mine. It's literally across the street and it just sold. So I think there's a very real chance that I need to put maybe $20,000 of work into it. We need new carpets, we need paint, stuff like that. There's a hole in the ceiling and some,
Did you almost lose this?
Damage. Do what?
Did you almost lose this house at one point?
No, never.
Okay.
Yeah. That's always, I will.
Yes, he had to sell it to Keemstar. Now, like 2 months after this, he had to sell it to Keemstar.
Bend over backwards to me.
So the problem is, like, people have tried doing this with Boogie before, like interventions things. I think Boogie did this to promote his documentary, right? Because he was making money off of it. If you're going to go to rehab or an intervention or financial audit, or you have to be fucking honest. Yes. 2 months after this, he had to sell the house to fucking Keemstar to keep from losing it. So you think 2 months before he wasn't on the verge of losing it?
make sure that mortgage gets paid. Yeah. If I have to sell everything I own, if I have to, and I have, we've made some concessions that I'm not entirely comfortable sharing because the people involved are private people. Sure. But I did move a roommate in. He's been helping a little bit here and there. I had a roommate over the last.
That's the roommate was the person who was supposed to own the home.
25 years. He's finally been able to kick in a little bit as well. So we are finding ways to.
So there's 2 roommates.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the purchase price of this house?
The original purchase price $275, and then I refinanced in 2018 because of my divorce. So the loan in 2018 became $200,000 because I put more money down because I had money to put down. So I got it down to $207.
And we're at 4.3%. What are we going to refinance? You're going to get like hit to 8%.
Well, the plan would be to try to bring the initial monthly payment down. But I really don't want to have to ever do that because we're 5 years into a 15 year. So we paid so much principal off.
Wow, you did 15 year.
Yeah, I was making good money at the time, so why not do 15 years? But now we're from 2018 to now we're 5 years into a 15 year. Now I'm no math wizard, and you were the math wizard, but that means I paid a good amount of principal off, right? I'm earning a very solid amount of equity by staying in that house, right?
Well, you definitely pay more interest up front, but yes, 5 year into 15 years, definitely starting to see more benefit. Right. Absolutely. I love the rate though.
Yeah,
the rate
couldn't get a better rate, right?
We would like,
with my credit, I could not have gotten a better rate.
For sure.
But I mean, the reality of it is, moving out of that house and trying to stay in Northwest Arkansas near my medical professionals where I need to stay.
You have to stay.
Yeah, it's a very stupid idea. There is very little in the area. I might be able to get an apartment for $900 a month. I might be able to get a duplex for $1,300 a month, but paying $2,100 in and then having some of that being brought in by roommates, I'm paying as much to live in this house and build equity as I would be giving it all to a landlord instead.
If anything,
he loves to brag about the stuff he thinks he's doing right. He doesn't want to admit anything he's doing wrong. Yeah, a lot of people have said that. When he said, kid behind a camera told me that, yeah, she's young, but you should just be the person that you need at that time. That sounds a lot like grooming. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine like you all found out that I was hanging out with a fucking 17-year-old and we have a relationship and I'm like, I'm just being the person that I needed at that time. So you're not in the relationship to be like two people going through it together and doing it. You're in it as like a parental role, right? Or an older brother or a mentor. That's a very weird relationship dynamic.
Of course, I don't have the full financial history of like the last few years, but if anything that I know just from internet, this was the good choice.
Oh yeah, this is a smart choice.
Was a good choice. Yeah. And 30-year fix or 15-year fix, there's different philosophies on that. I personally go 30-year because I just feel like I can just make a better return on investment putting the rest of the money somewhere else. But either way, I'm totally okay with this. To limiting risk, knowing your position and knowing that the YouTube career can be, a quick whoop, I would have like, okay, we made 1.3 million and we owed a total of 208,000. I wish we could have just taken care of this and lowered your risk profile over that time instead of doing the traveling and stuff like that. Where all my money's been going, I pay a little extra towards this on a monthly basis, but where my money's mostly been going is into cash flowing properties that then pay for this if YouTube goes away completely. Yeah. So that's I wish we were risk mitigating in turn, but instead of that we were going into crypto.
So nobody ever likes this answer.
Okay.
Because it's not a good one. And nothing I'm about to say is an excuse.
Let's hear it.
But the headspace that I was in 2018 was not a very good one. And so I was not planning for a potential future because I did not feel that I had.
Yeah.
In 2000,
I'm suicidal, so I made bad financial decisions.
18 Christmas, I had planned to take my own life. And I made it to that Christmas date, and I decided to postpone it for the dumbest reasons. Christmas Day, I'm sitting there alone. I have my dog in my lap, and my roommate's out of town, and I realized my dog's going to be sitting there.
Yeah, I've told you guys about the when I used to go to church summer camp, about that secret handshake one of the counselors taught me.
With my dead body for 3 days. And I'm like, you know what? I need to wait. And I rescheduled to July 24th, 2019.
He rescheduled to kill himself.
Which was my birthday. And I thought in that process I would travel a lot so that my roommate and my dog, who'd never really bonded, would begin to bond. So if you look at my travel plans, in January, I spent a couple of weekends away. And in February, it became 3-day weekends. And then
turns out the secret handshake is called a hand job. I just didn't know.
In March, it became 4 days weekends. And by July, it rolled around. I spent 2 weeks in California saying goodbye to my friends with the plans of going home to end myself.
I'm very glad you didn't, by the way.
I ended up doing some, which I do not recommend, right? We don't casually do. I did it under the, I did that with the guidance of a shaman. And my original trip was...
He did mushrooms with a shaman and decided not to kill himself.
In 2019. And I realized that I had to stay on the path that I was on. I realized that this was what for better or for worse, no matter how hard this was going to be, I had to stay here and do it. And now here I am 4 years later doing it. And it's not been great. It's not been, I went home and COVID happened. And
I have a question for you for the future of this conversation and what we're trying to do here. Are you willing to, and I think it might be for like the true first time from just conversations I've watched preparing for this, and then obviously this conversation so far, are we willing to just let go of the past? The past does not define us. We are human beings that are on this life, they have a life temporary on this planet, that we are growing, and let's look for the future.
Well, we are talking about the past. Like we're talking about the financial decisions I was making in 2019.
No, I know, but when it comes to
right,
what
so like
uploaded.
But if you're asking if I have personally moved on, yeah.
Well, are we willing to in this conversation? Like, are we willing
to? Sure, unless you ask me why I was making these financial decisions in 2019, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you.
That's right. No, that's fair enough. Yeah. But when it comes to, I uploaded this many YouTube videos then and stuff like that, like, okay, let's like, what can we do in the future? Just make this awesome.
Right.
So that we can.
Right. Stop talking about all the mistakes you made. Just fucking change something.
Sure, you're financially secure.
But I had a nervous breakdown at the end of 2019.
And he goes right back immediately into, well, I had a nervous breakdown. He's like, can we just talk about the future? What are we going to do in the future? How are we going to fix this? Well, I had a nervous breakdown back in 2019.
I put this in your video, but I said something extremely inflammatory. I said that the people who had spent the last year harassing me, getting my sponsors to stop supporting me, attacking my fans, and attacking me personally, I said that they were worse than, which is not a thing you can say, right? It's also not true. It's hyperbole. I didn't mean it, but that's
worse than Hitler.
I said this on live stream. Right? You can't take that back once the cat's out of the bag.
You in live stream.
Yeah, right. Which used to be extremely lucrative. I used to make $5 grand a month, $10 grand a month from live streaming when I was really good at it and really pushing it. I would live stream for 3 hours a night, 5 nights a week, 6 nights a week, and would bring home 5, 10K sometimes.
I was talking to a very successful streamer a few weeks ago about you, and he thinks you can make like 20K a month.
If I can keep my foot out of my mouth, and that's something I have so much trouble doing. Even there, I mean, like, people, probably rightfully so, but for whatever reason, I think I'm held to a standard that I don't know that I'm good enough for. I'm going to say.
Well, you also react to everything. You feed them. You feed them. It's I had open like 2 months. So it's like,
yeah, a lot of things you've really changed since March, in this last year. March. Again, I went some really intense therapy. I combined it with and the mentorship of a shaman. And those 3 things, if you look at the statistics, modern science is showing, I can recommend a documentary for anybody who's interested, How to Change Your Mind. It's available on Netflix. Have the capacity to cure post-traumatic stress disorder, which was my biggest issue, right? It's one of the reasons I was stuck in these negative thought patterns. And so with combination of doing intensive, twice a week therapy with a traditional therapist, while combining that with seeing a shaman and taking the money puts your brain into a place of neuroplasticity. And so you can learn finally, right? And then you do that with the therapy, and you can learn from the actual therapy.
I think Caleb's buying it.
In this last year, I made such
Jesus Christ. All right. Temporarily blocked. We detected a video of someone else's. Yeah, we were fucking using the video in an educational purpose to educate people about how big a shit Boogie is. How big a piece of shit Boogie is. Jesus Christ. The guy's fucking wild, dude. I got nothing for him. Got nothing for him. But he's lying about cancer now? Are you shitting me? Of all the things to be, oh my God, the plum wife beater.
What's going on, everyone? How's everybody doing? Every duelist, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist, I challenge you to a duel. Duel disc activated. Let's duel. What's going on, everyone?
Jeez.
What's going on, you guys?
His skin tone's about that color.
I delete my Venmo, but my Cash App and my PayPal is still good. I just would like donations to go to Las Vegas and to see Chris Angel. Need like for the plane trip, rent a car, hotel.
I just want donations because I want to go to Vegas.
And other stuff to do. There's a bunch of stuff to do in Las Vegas besides gambling. See Chris Angel. I can do a puppet show too.
Gonna do a Vegas puppet show, of course.
Guys, thanks in advance.
Thanks in advance.
What's going on, you guys? I want to delete my Venmo, but my Cash App and my PayPal is still good.
Someone said if you could get to Vegas, I'll cover the room. I'll be your cameraman, bro. Look at his dance. What about this? What about these moves? What about these moves? Who doesn't love these moves? That face where he goes, like he changed his smile right here for some reason. Watch this. You fucking goof, dude. He's killing it. Dude's killing it.
What's going on, everyone? Scott and Steven here. Yeah. Audrey. Tammy.
Why is he not wearing clothes, dude? If you're going to make a video, at least put on some type of undergarment. What is with this guy? Put on clothes.
Audrey.
Look at his leg. He's not wearing any fucking clothes. YouTube's back.
Tammy and everybody else help get this belt from coming. Yeah. What's going on, Steven? Nothing. Just getting started. We need to keep this belt from coming. When we battle, we need to remain the champs. Yeah, let's remain the champs, guys. See ya.
It's easy, bro.
We already saw that one, didn't we? And meet Steven. Scott Rogers, everybody. Scott fucking Rogers, everybody. Somebody had to say it. One more weird thing. Let me see if I can find it. You guys know who Ariel is. Now, Ariel tried to call me out back with, he's a big supporter of Nick Alvear. Ariel is Proletario1 on Twitter. You tell me if this seems like a valid claim. Okay? He claims that last year that 2 computers that he used to post on social media ended up having child rape videos on them later. He alleges that these child rape videos were somehow uploaded to the computers that he used by the Flynn network. 2 computers, 2 different cities, one belonging to his coworker, one belonging to his mother. Both who called him after he left and ended up using their computer, they called him and said, hey, I know you used my computer, and now there's child rape videos on it. And his mother uses Comcast. One of those people was my mother. She called me to tell me after she called Comcast. Comcast gave her the location of the IP address was located of who done it. So I would try to get that info out of her. So his mom says, hey, you used my computer. Now there's a child rape video on it. I don't know what happened. And he's like, it wasn't me. Call Comcast. She calls Comcast, and they're like, we'll delete it for you, ma'am. And here's where the IP address is of the people who uploaded it. Someone says, bet your mama still has it. And he says, hopefully, because she has since then wrote down a lot of things. You always be several beats ahead of them. Thank you for not throwing in the towel. You want to know what was fucked up about it? One of those people was my mother. She told me after Comcast removed it. So Comcast removed the child rape video from his mom's computer after he used it. What would happen if you called Comcast and said, my son just come over and used my computer, he left, and now there is a child rape video on it? Press X to doubt. That's right. Wait, what? My mother was one of the victims I spoke of when someone uploaded CP to her computer. Here's the other post. You know what else they tried? I remember I used 2 separate computers in 2 different locations to post my content. Tell me why they tracked the IP address on both PCs and uploaded child porn to them. This is why I only use my phone. Wait, what? How did you find out? This dude's fucking self-snitching. Wait, does he know he's fixing to be busted or some shit? Because they contacted me days later after they requested Comcast operators to remove it. Comcast is an internet provider, an IPO, an IP, IPS, IPO. It's not right, is it? They're an internet provider. They don't remove stuff from your computer. Are you fucking crazy, dude? After they request, you can't. First of all, you can't get a hold of Comcast. Second of all, they tell you they're going to be there between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. and they show up 3 weeks later. This is how they're able to get law enforcement into your home to arrest you. They were going to try other things after that. So you're trying to convince us that you can call Comcast and they would be willing to remove child porn from a customer's computer? Comcast isn't going to touch your computer, especially if there's child porn on it. Can't you read? Oh, somebody says, sorry, I went too far. Can't you read? He said they uploaded it to his 2 computers. He didn't download it. No, one of these was my mother's computers. The other was a coworker, 2 different cities. They contacted me after I left. All of this happened last year. So it sounds like he's downloading CP. What would you do if a friend came over and they're like, hey, can I use your computer for a minute? And you're like, sure, it's back there. And then the next time you use the computer, there's like a folder that says Ariel's child porn. What the fuck, dude? I called Comcast. They removed it for me. Do you think Comcast is removing CP from people's fucking computers and saying, oh, that was the Flynn network. I'll remove that. Imagine making up a story so goddamn retarded to try to, so we know he's lying, right? We know he's fucking lying. Imagine making up a story so goddamn retarded to try to convince your audience that you're somebody special who the Flynns want to take out, that you accidentally admit that you watch a child porn, or at least cause the accusations to be there that you download child porn. What was the only factor in that didn't change? Him. He used both computers. He was on both computers, and he left, and child porn was discovered. The fuck, dude? What a way to snitch on yourself. That's fucking that's crazy. And no one asked him about it. He just posted it himself. He just said, want to hear something crazy? Every time I use someone else's computer, child porn ends up on it. I don't know what's happening. I blame it on the Flynns. Jesus Christ. Please consider supporting the show while we're offline. You can do that at coldbeer.fund, buymeacoffee.com/coldbeer. We greatly appreciate it. That's how I pay the bills, keep the show running. Thank you guys for joining us. Sorry for the late start. I weeded it till like fucking 8:30 tonight. So thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with me. And we'll see you around the next one. Love you. See you. Bye. Don't forget, we do have screenshots of the 38 minutes that Derek Johnson was the head of the White House military office. Derek Toy Story Johnson was the head of the White House military office for 48 minutes last night, and he will always be remembered. Have a good night, guys.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest.
I didn't even know he liked Joe Biden, but I guess he's working for him.
Balls.
So.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believers? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, and to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like four in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit.
Thank you for your 48 minutes of service, Derek Johnson.
Get lit, get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up.
Have a good night, guys. See you on the next one. Love you, see you, bye.